Welcome, everybody, to our regularly scheduled Wednesday night broadcast of the American Reaching Mahjong League. Opening up with Division C1 tonight, we've got a lot of games scheduled to start around this time, and a lot of them are actually in the C1 division. Tonight, we'll be starting off with Maya, Wyatt, Raymond, and Ken. I think we've seen a couple of these players already, in fact, but Maya currently the top of the standings out of this table, at least with a plus 38.1. Wyatt also positive with plus 21.0, and both players will be hoping to increase that positive score. Very early days. Accompanying me in the broadcast booth is Korak. How's it going?
Pretty good. Looks like we're going to jump right in here. Has a south pair, a bunch of pairs. Could go Chitoika, regular hand. I'm sure you see a potential 2, 3, 4 Sanshoku. Of course, if I see it, I know you see it.
Mm-hmm.
On the right, we have a Pinfu hand, maybe an Itsu in Sozu. Nice shapes there, but every odd dial, you need the 2, 4, the 6, and the 8. If you draw 1 or 2, you're good. But the best hand is clearly the one across with 2 Dora and a very easy Honitsu. It's actually Ishanten for Chitoitsu. If you draw, say, the 2 pin, you reach the 6, and the 9 just instantly comes out the instant someone draws it. On the left, we have a Pinfu as well, maybe some sort of 5, 6, 7 Sanjuku, but it requires some shifting. Ooh, 1 pin, big hit. So the question is how greedy is it? Just wants to play regular hand, has the door here. Not going to hard sell it on the Honitsu yet. But we'll see. Oh, backfire here for dealer. Cuts the 7, draws the 6. Would have filled the shape.
Yeah, like this hand across the way for Raymond is really interesting because it could be the flush, it could be a toy even, it could be just Richi Ipeka with door 2, it could be
Or what
Suanko.
about Swanko? Yeah. Oh, why? Wow.
Hmm.
Passes the north. I'd never pass that.
Yeah, surprise. And then cuts the 8 anyway, so is moving in the direction of the flush. Maybe we'll call the second north.
Yeah, the problem is if you're doing this, the 1 pin loses your Chitoitsu route, so you're not really gaining anything. You'd really like to have that 9 back at this point.
Wait and see. On the left, that is an advancing draw, the 4 so. One away from Tempai now. And the 3-3-5-7-7 shape is pretty good at finding a pair and a shape. However, there's already a pair in the form of the 6 mon in the hand, so love to turn
Yeah,
one of those
too
into a
many
sequence.
pairs. It's not a great shape. The 9's actually not a bad choice here. I don't mind cutting the 7, but we'll throw this back.
In the meantime, dealer with a great pin shape, looking for 1, 4, and a 7 pin, but we can see where most of the 1s are and the 4s, to be honest.
Yeah, just sitting there hoarding them. And this is what tends to happen when you have all the same tiles in a Suji, is someone needs them. Oh, and the backfire there on the left. Could have cut the 6 earlier to keep this 3-3-5-7-7 shape, but it said locked in the 6 pair, and this is why you don't go for 3 pairs, is this happens a lot.
Yeah, I even thought about cutting the 6 mon there and just holding the 50-10 shape, but the 8 mon had come out twice already from Raymond, and of course you've dropped one of your own, so the 5-8 looking a lot less strong than usual.
No, interesting decision here. I'd cut the 3.
Boom.
You can go to the 6, it's kind of the same shape. I go with the 3 because there is still an Itsu route here. And you keep the shape here, but the 3 just always safe for entry on the 6. And we'll go ahead and call for the Itsu. This is Atazuke on the 6-0 only. Cannot win on a 3. Speaking of 6s,
That will deal
this
into
will
Wyatt's
deal in, but
hand.
it'll be the cheap hand. Doesn't throw it, though. Dodges for now. But I imagine it's just a matter of time, unless the song goes up.
Yeah, and at some point you might even want to get it out ahead of the flush hand that's...
Oh, there's Tempai. If it's taken,
No.
passes it again. Okay, this upgrades to a 4-5 pin weight. And now the 6
Eat.
is going to come out. You just reach this. So the switch on the hand ends up not winning as a result. Technically a wider weight, but it doesn't matter if the tile that gets thrown is the one you didn't need.
Yeah, lots
There's
of...
the 1. This is likely dealing in. Can fold, of course.
Does
And will do
fold.
so. Good dodge.
Yeah, lots of
Could
maneuvering
just
is...
be Riichi no Mi, but when you have a shape like this, you just, oh, and the 6, it feels so bad.
But it was indeed a deal and dodge. Probably can get away with cutting the 9 mon there because it's safe to the dealer. And if you do squeak back into Tempai, the 2 so should probably pass.
Yes. I just feel, though, this whole hand was a lot of missed opportunities by Raymond. Just would not open. Finally gets the third Dora, but look at where there's one draw left. You can't even get Tempai anymore.
No win for the dealer either. So two players will maintain their tempi. Wyatt and Ken both picking up 1,500
Yes.
points.
Throws the Nakasuji 5 over the 1 pin. Makes sense. And we have a repeat here as Ken has a Ichipinfu, maybe Tanya, maybe Sanshuku, definitely Beiko. 7 would really help. On the right, ugh. 3 Penshon and floaters. That's the type of hand where you take a look at it and go, it's just Chanta. And then you see the 5 Mon and it's Dora and you have one, and you really can't. Across the way, Pinfu hand, maybe an Itsu and Pinzu. And on the left, definitely the best hand here, double Yakuai and a Dora, including a completed shape. Actually, really fast here for 3 Han.
Yeah, Pon Pon Ron potential here. Except the fact that the 8 is pretty held. We'll see if Ken gets to use both of the 8s that are currently in his hand as the dealer.
Now, there's the first one, gets the Hatsu. Oh, this 8 may come out earlier, though. May be able to dodge this.
Yeah, the timing here is going to be interesting between the 8 on the right in Maya's hand and the East across the table in Raven's hand.
Oh, interesting choice here. Could go with the 9-8 and does. This 4. So the problem with this hand is it's underblocked. That right now you're going to need to till the 2-2-4 and basically lock in the 7. You have this 9-8, but it just doesn't fit anymore. So going to try and call. There's our Tempai on the left for the 3 Han as expected. Waiting on the 8, so there's 1 left.
Even with 2 calls, it's pretty hard to dodge this or try to play around it, so players will probably just be building as normal.
Great draw there across the way. Now Ishan 10. But not too much value. Not likely to get the Itsu here. And yeah, just breaks away. Takes the perfect Ishunt and hoping to draw the 4, so you can just cut the 2 instead.
Pretty close to it,
And
at
they're
least.
backfire for dealer, of course. That's the rule. You cut the 9, and you plan to cut the 8. The 7's going to come. Another 3. That's not going to help.
Perhaps against 2 calls, a little less excited about dropping a 7 mon near the Dora.
8-pin pair could go Cheetoy, but it just goes and cuts the 2.
You definitely, as the dealer, feel like you're playing from behind at this point in the hand. With player with 2 calls,
Oh,
you've
yeah.
backfired.
You know you're behind. Your shapes are terrible. You have 1 completed shape. And not much else.
9-pin, 8-pin. Raven sees the way to use both of the Dora.
It just breaks away from the 5-4 block completely. 1 pin, cuts the 2 3s, so can't really use it. We might see a shift down, but instead just Shumaguri's the 3. It's not called. 7, okay, that locks the 8 in. That's not coming out. So still just that 1-8, so.
I'm looking for a 3 chi so that we can get the Atosge Itsu once again.
Well, Amon's an interesting child. We'll go ahead and cut the 5, so going for the Itsu potential here.
Oh.
4, well, there's your backfire.
It wouldn't have been the best Tempai, but it would have been Tempai at least.
It's going to be Furitsun no matter what you do unless you throw it back, and we'll just go ahead and take it headless. Oh, surprisingly, it cuts the 9. I would definitely switch this 9-8. Not to mention the fact that you have that 9-pin Anko would be a boost for Fu.
Right?
Oh, no! Well, I mean, it's Tempai, Richi +1. I guess you just have to
It's
take it.
Shuri-ten, though. Every single weight is Shuri-ten. The 1-4 and the 2-5.
Completely breaks it. Says, you know, I'm not even going to do this.
Yeah, there are a lot of Montiles to draw. I don't mind the way that this hand has been played. It's just kind of funny the way it's turned out.
Okay, there's the upgrade on the left. Now 5-8. There are a lot more 5s left. Oh, but there's the 8. Doesn't matter. Going to deal in 3,900. Plus the Homba, and of course the leftover Richi stick. So a nice little pickup, and Wyatt in first place now.
After all that time, Wyatt finally got the improvement, and the 8 came out anyway.
All right, well, dealer here is Maya with Pretty standard Pinfu hand, nothing fancy. 3 so would really help. On the right, we have a Haku pair. Maybe Call and Go has a few pairs. Maybe there's a Toy, but unlike with the 4-5. Across the way, Pinfu type hand, but just bad shapes. Distant 1-2-3 Sanshigu maybe. And on the left, that's just Tanyao. There's not much else to say. That's just Tanyao.
Sometimes Tanyao is the best that you can do, and you can add a lot of things to Tanyao if you get good draws. There are a lot of good draws to be had. We'll see if Ken manages to pull any in.
Actually cut there by Raymond. Cuts the 5 from the 4-5. Might be trying to hedge this into a brute force Jonitsu and Manzu.
A bit of a long shot. We'll see if it gets there. Also, we saw Raymond passing a couple calls in a previous hand, so I wonder if that Haku will get called pretty early on. It feels like a natural thing to do, but some players have a very closed mindset.
Well, just draw your third Haku, and in much better shape now. Could even potentially go Toy off of this. 6-pin Onkoed up on the left as well, as Ken advances the hand. 4 upgrades this to a Ryokan 4-6-8, so we'll hold for now. Pay, of course, doesn't do anything. Just going to throw it back. At least you hold the south to try and pair it up. Hope for another Yakuhai.
Oh,
3-pin, the perfect draw. Now super wide Ishunten.
yes. 6-mon finishes the Mon shape 3-6-mon. The 7-mon pair up also works. And of course 3-6 so.
And we see Maya upgrade to any Peiko. There is a Rion Peiko route.
I'm here for that.
Currently doesn't have a pair. Seven pin isn't going to do much. 1-mon. Well, that's just an Onko of Dora. You don't have to get anything else. You just need Tempai. Speaking of Dora, 1 pulled in there would lose Tanyao. And we'll go ahead and hold it for now. Of course, you do have some options. If you still draw, say, the 3 or 6-mon, you can just reach and cut the 1. Speaking of 1s, we have the Onko on the right. Now Ishunten for Son Onko.
Yeah, I thought you were joking about Toy, but it actually is there now. I didn't have the vision.
There's the Haku, and definitely not the type of person who's going to con we've seen so far. And I would definitely not con that either.
Yep, agreed.
8-mon upgrades the shape. 3 could call for Tempai, but it's really cheap.
It's kind of sad. Definitely
This is
thinking
one
about
where
it.
oh, well, they're rewarded instantly. Now, you can Dora Tonki, but I just take the Richitanya. I'll cut the 1.
Oh, we'll take the 2-mon instead.
Actually, wait on the 2-mon. I think it's probably the worst of the options, but we'll see if it pays off, and we'll be chased now by Richidora 3, waiting on 3-pin. 3 of those versus the dead 2-mon, and this is going to be another chase.
Oh, the 5 so.
The Ipatsu, Richi Ipatsu Haku. Tons of food there. So this is going to be, what, 64?
Wow. Got there close too. It's the power of Richi. Taking the fight against 2 other players in Richi and gets the Ipatsu Ron.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice little boost here. And Raymond, now in clear first place, has a couple of pairs. This is one of those, it's hard to decide what you're going to do with it. It could go Tanya, it could go Chitoy. You just have to sit here and play it normally and see what happens. A much better hand, though, on the right for Wyatt with a Peiko, Tanya, maybe a Chitoy, can accept a Dora potentially as well across the way. Itsu and Manzu, probably the best route. And on the left, for Maya, you have a Dora, a couple good shapes. It's an above average hand. I'd take that.
Yeah, probably just Richi Pifu on the left with maybe Dora.
Well, it'll be sad if you ever have to cut this Dora.
Right.
It is possible, but that's the type of tile that it's sitting there until I hit Tempai. It's not coming out.
It's a relatively central Dora too, so there we go.
And now we don't have to worry about that.
Now the question is how...
Just be the 9 so.
Yeah, there's some routes to Tanyao. There's routes to... Okay, Sachoku might be a bit of a dream, but I'm always thinking about it. We could draw a 7-mon.
You can shift up if you get 7-mon.
Oh, big decision here.
Interesting choice here. I would cut the West. Yeah, it goes for the greed. 4 connects with the 5-6, completes the shape for the dealer here, but it's just still slow. May even just need to call this down for Tanya Nomi. And a 3-pin cut there on the right for Wyatt. I think that's a little inefficient. Probably having problems reading this Sozu shape,
I'd probably
which
trying
is
to
a bit of
hedge
a
the
mess.
Ipeco and willing to give up that 2 5-pin acceptance. I guess
And
the
the 8, well, okay, now upgrades to a Ryoncon. Well, I think dealer just has to go Cheetoy. Tanya Cheetoy, potentially.
no
Low
call.
pass doesn't want the Tanya Dora 1 Tempai. I think I'm fine with that. Yeah, there goes the 9. Can still just, if the 7 come, if either of the 7s come, you can just pull this down. Because you know you're behind if you're Raymond here.
I like throwing this 4-so back. If we draw the 8-so, we can think about 6, 7, 8 Sanchoku in the future sometimes.
This is a really tough decision. I will actually kind of want to cut 4-pin.
Just confirm the Dora. We've got a lot of
Confirm the
pairs.
Dora, plan to call. I probably would even cheat the 4-so. I just feel I'm way behind in this situation as dealer.
I do agree on the 4-so chi. We've seen so far this game that Raymond is a very men's end player, so
Yeah, it feels like his whole table been pretty Menzen. The one hand that was opened already had 3 Han.
oh Dora, that's not
That's not what you want here. Yeah, just gonna cut the 6. Float the 7 here. The problem is the 8, 9's in the discards. You almost have to pair it up. 5, I think you have to take that one. But dealer says you're not getting it. And now still Ishan 10.
a dealer really stymieing Maya's hand here, holding a pair of the 5s and the 7s and calling the 5s even.
And if the 7 come out, I imagine it has to get called too. 5, I think you just have to take it, cut the 4 now. Yeah, you're out of time. Cuts the 4. Tempai waiting on that 7 for Tanya Dora 1. Raymond Ishunton locks in the double pair here. Oh, well, there. Speaking of pairs,
The
to
6
get the
8 better or
Dora pair
4
up here,
4?
I like the 4-4. The 4's already come out once. The 7's already visible to you once. You have to assume the other one's dead. Whereas the 7 still has a chance to be somewhere. Speaking of 7s, now Tempai for both.
Oh,
And this is going to be a reach. He gets the perfect fill here. Ricci, Pinfu, Dora 2. 2-so, 5-so. And the 7-mon is now dead. The 2-so is also dead.
there are one 5-so in the wall.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1 5-so. So it's a 1 versus 0 versus 0.
Could try 7. Okay. For similar reasons, you could try the 8-so. That will pass. Wyatt, the only player with tiles left in the wall. No draws left for him.
That is not Tempai. Those shapes, it takes you a second. You're like, wait, is it? Please? Nope. And 9 is safe, so going to be 3 players Tempai. Raven not doing much, but getting 1,000 here. That's all you can really hope for. Because that hand was just going nowhere slowly. Managed to get the 1,000 out of it. We'll get the repeat here. 3, 4, 5 Sanshoku. I think it's pretty obvious here.
It's just given to you at the high pie. That's fantastic.
Just draw the hands. Well, the problem is that you're going to have this and you're going to draw a 2-so and you're going to be really
Right.
sad.
You draw the
On
two,
the
so you
right,
throw it back.
on the right, Pinfu Tanyao. Maybe a Dora, but the 8-mon's going to be really hard to use. The Dora being used across the way. Dora 2, you want to go Tanya, but that 9-9 makes it really hard. Maybe you need Peiko if you can get the 8 and the 7. And on the left, well, that's just a bad hand.
Hard to play that hand. And this is Ishanten for our dealer. Drew into the 9-mon, so Dora draw would be excellent here. Would almost prefer to draw the 6-0, but or the 4-mon even. No,
I
no,
called
throw it
it!
back. Okay, you can 4-mon here,
I'd go Formon for sure.
and then you can draw 2-so or 6-so into the
And
tempo you
accept
want.
it. Or even potentially get a Nobeton.
Yeah, it's tough.
And we'll
If
do so.
If 8-mon isn't Dora, there is some thought of cutting the 9-mon, but
Well, that's a draw.
Eat.
Just 9-mon Dama. Instead, we'll Ricci here. On the Dora indicator for Ricci, Tanya loses the Sanchoku here.
yeah, maybe he likes the Suji trap, although Dora indicator Suji is pretty tricky. Reaching with the 9-mon, it feels hard to be waiting on the 8. I guess it could have come from 899.
If you had a 4-6-8 and we're hedging Sanchoku and didn't get there, I could see shapes this deals into.
Sure.
But you're right that it's not immediately obvious.
Yeah, people are generally pretty reticent to discard the Dora indicator, though, so we'll see if it pans out. There is one left in the wall.
And the 9 so isn't it? The 5, a really ugly tile. And yeah, this seems to be getting out of here.
Yeah, Maya's hand never got off the ground, so definitely just wanted to fold from the start. Oh, there it
Come on.
is! Suji trapped the wall.
Yeah, just sumo. Easy game. 2,000 all, and now in a commanding lead here. Raymond with 45,000, 18,000 clear of second place, has a potential Ricci Pinfu Tanyao here. The 1 pin and 9 pin are going to have to get thrown, though. On the right, we have a Chun pair. May just be a call and go. Also can use the 3 So Dora across the way. Kind of Pinfu hand, maybe a 6-7-8 Sanshoku, but that 9-8-8 stick shape in Pinzu's really annoying. Also potential Sozu Itsu. And on the left, looks like a Pinfu hand, maybe an Itsu now with that 4-mon. Really nice pull. But stuff to get to that 1 So. Reasonably close, though. Dealer here can cut 8, 9, or even the East. I like floating the double East as long as possible. Just because it's so much value, and there's nothing else in this hand.
This is a spot where Wide is already Ishanten. However, despite being able to call the Red Dragon into Tempai, probably doesn't want to just because the Ricci is so much more powerful. And even going so far as to sacrifice 2 tiles of efficiency here to set up a Sotogawa trap.
Speaking of value, across the way, now building an Ipeco with a Dora weight, potentially.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what direction the hand wanted to go. It's still thinking about the Sanchoku, but now it has Ipeco route with Dora too, so lots of value options. But the draws you need are very slim.
Very distinctive as well. Even that's kind of a Ryoncon, and ends up cutting the 6 here. So we'll have to make 3 blocks out of the Sozu now.
Yeah, pretty much locking in on that Ipeco, I feel.
Shape and double Ryoncon.
Kind of prefer the 2 So myself, but that's because I'm addicted to Sanchoku.
Well, this is also a bit of a Chi-Toy hedge. That's one of those things in an Ipeco hand, is it always has to be in the back of your mind. Ooh, and as I say it, that definitely pushes you more there.
It doesn't
It's
make
a
me happy,
4th
but
pair.
okay, it cuts the 1 So.
Okay, this does allow you to Tanya shift as well for a lot of value. Also allows you to open the hand if you get the Dora, which is a huge improvement.
What?
You get Tanya Dora 2, you just go for it.
Right. Maya's been trying to use this Dora, but at this point, the rest of the hand is pretty efficient.
Yeah, you also have the 1 So in the discard, hard to use. And you see dealer pull a 2-pin Onko. 3 mon across the way. Definitely was locked in that Tanya shape. That was the goal.
Yeah, good timing for Maya to cut the Dora there.
Ooh, 2 mon's a fill. Now Ishanten, which 6-8 do you want?
Reach.
Oh, okay. Keeps the the Ryoncon there with a 4-6-8, and there's our Tempai on the left. Richi, Pinfu, possible Tanyao. 6-9 mon weight. We see 3 9s and 1 6, so 4 outs left, 3 of which are the expensive end.
Meanwhile, Wyatt's been Ishanten for so long, still hasn't gotten there. Desperately needed
I like
6
7
9
so 7, so I just think it's almost always safe here. We'll cut the 4.
Especially with the number of pairs in hand. It's not the worst to trim one down.
4 pin, though, is a terrible tile, and we'll just hold it for now. East is once cut, so it's not great, but it's not terrible. I feel reasonably confident pushing it with this hand, which is currently Shunten for Tanyao Dora 1.
As the safe swap, still each on 10. Also, the 5 mon has come out, so you can jam the 2
True, and
mon.
that is Tempai if you take it. It's a
Boom.
dangerous tile to push, though, but we'll go ahead and shove it. 6-9 pin. Speaking of nines, one drawn there. There's the 6, though. Reach Sumo in through Tanyao. It is the expensive end, no aura, but 6,800 will get Maya back over 30K and into a solid second place.
All right, dealership passes to East 4 and White's seat.
And has a very good starting end here. Potentially Peiko in Monzu. Shapes are pretty good. 7 pin just instantly makes this hand, though. On the right,
Found the 7
Hatsu
pins.
pair. Decent shape. Yeah, we see where those 7 pins are. Good luck with that. There is still one, and there's only one that you need. Cross the way. By the way, it's just Ishan 10. Wow.
Okay.
How did that get... Well, no, you can't... Oh,
Uh,
no! There are so many upgrades. I hate this, Ricci.
namely,
I'm normally, of course, someone that just never takes Dama. This is one of those very few situations I would. Because if I get the 8, I will gladly Puritan Ricci, but it's the Sumo! Ricci Apatsu Sumo! No aura. Okay, well, if you get a Patsu, you at least get some value out of
yeah.
this. See, I'm sitting here saying one of the few times I would Dama and just immediately Patsu on it. But at the same time, if I draw that, I am thrilled to Puritan Ricci that 9-so.
Yeah, because then we get Tanya and Pifu on the 3 so or 6 Sumo. Wow, truly
But hey,
just
you get
Ricci.
that. That's how you get the value out of it. Just draw the Tonki on your Ipatsu. That'll definitely fix the problem.
So
And now I
far,
have Ken with a Pinfu type hand, but not a really fast one. Has a Dory here. You kind of go Tanya, but you have the double 1-2 Penchon. On the right, a few pairs. Feels kind of Tanya-ish as well. They're just hard to use. These outside tiles all over. The shapes are bad. Those are the types of hands where I just want to call and make something happen. Across the way, that is definitely a Tanya hand. Of course, the 1 pin could push another direction. Has a Dora, maybe an Peiko. On the left, we have a couple pairs. Maybe a Junshan type hand.
I guess there's a will we would move that direction. I don't know. I just know that if I'm sitting at this table right now, I just want to end up on some upper mon Tonki. Both 7 mon, Dora Indicator, and 8 mon have won so far as Tonki.
Cuts the 6 from the 6-4 there. Just doesn't like the Sozu block. There are lots of upgrades in those shapes, but I feel this is a situation. What do you think of that overlap on the Pinzu? Because you kind of need the 4 pin, what, 3 different times?
Yeah, it might be useful to slim that down. Okay,
Oh no, there's the backfire.
we'll find a way. We'll find a way to use it. We'll just redraw 3 so 6 so. But yeah, I definitely agree that when you've got a large amount of overlap, it might be in your interest to trim away from that, I should say.
No, especially when the tile you need is the Dora indicator, it just always feels bad. I think I prefer locking it with a 2 pin. That's what I've done earlier. Regardless, though, gets there. On the left, though, hand just not really moving. Trying to turn this into a 79 Sonic but needs a 9 first. 5's a miss. Dealer's actually Ishan 10, but would have to cut the Dora.
Yeah, it's a roughy Shantan. Bad shapes, no value.
Well,
Tempai.
you are dealer. It is Sanzo, so maybe.
Eat.
That is Tempai, Ricci, Tanyo, Dora 1, waiting on 3 Bon. There are 2 left in the wall.
Solid Ricci, typically, even though the weight is not the most impressive.
Well, plus everyone's cutting lower Bonzu. Well, there's the Dora, so everyone thinks you're cheap now, which you're really not.
Yeah, this is pretty expensive.
Sumo is guarantee Mangan here. Also clears the 5 if the other wants just cut it and keep the Ishunten without having to throw the 1. And we'll do so. And we're going to have Ishunten on the right now for Chitoy. Oh, and another Dora. Those always feel bad.
Yeah, that's not the route I was expecting for this hand. But pair is always an option.
Speaking of, this 1-4 Suji doesn't feel great with that late 2. And yeah, just going to dodge it for now.
The
The
more
7 shows a reasonably safe Suji there because the 6 had already come out.
right. And the more 5-pin come out, the less likely it is that this 4 or 7-pin deals in.
Yeah, and if I see 2 Dora coming out from the person who reach you, I assume their hand is trash. There's no value. It's probably a bad wave, but not necessarily.
Yeah,
Speaking of the 3s, there's one of them. Only one left.
Oh, Tempai.
I mean, you have to just slam this, don't you?
South just came out twice, so we'll be waiting on the 4-pin.
It is the Dora indicator. And there's the 4-pin, but it's not going to come out. And there's the last 3.
It's Suji
The
now.
H is dead, isn't it?
Yeah, all the 3's drawn, but we'll see if either of these defending players...
Now, you have to trust the 9 before the 3, right?
2 Richis to go up against, Haku's safe, so...
Doesn't matter. 2 players, Tempai. We are just going to move along here. Fremont doesn't finish, but the Chitoy manages to salvage 500 from this end. We are in South 2. Maya's dealer here. And nice little Pinzu shape, but the rest of the hand needs work. You see all those honors. And cuts the Tuso. That's actually pretty inefficient. The west and the north usually a better choice. This Tuso is more a hedge for a Honitsu, and I just don't see it here.
Yeah, I make this
On the
sort of
right,
exploratory Tuso cut all the time. And it backfires like 20% of the time.
well, it doesn't feel that bad when you draw the 5 as
Yeah.
follow-up, because now you'd have that overall with 2-5. On the right, it feels like an Itsu in Sozu. Across the way, Hatsu's been pwned, has a Dora, but may have to cut it with the Tumon being the pair. On the left, a few pairs, maybe a Chitoy, maybe a Junchan there. 5 so great draw, but gets away from the Itsu. That surprises me. I don't really like that cut. It makes the shapes much prettier and easy to interpret, but it just makes the hand so cheap. That's one of those things, especially you've played mostly Akaari, that oftentimes you just gotta go fast, gotta win, and can get in trouble where there are value routes you need to take advantage of.
Yeah, even here in first place, it's still good to think about the value. Maybe the sticks in the middle are in incentivizing a faster hand.
Well, we say faster, but I always feel calling makes hands faster.
Yeah, not much opportunity to call here. In the meantime, the white switches the Tempai from 5-pin to
Which is to the
7-pin.
7. There are 3 in hands right now. Oh, and that's 2 of them locked here in the dealer. Now with that Ipeco upgrade.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that the 5-pin actually filters out of these hands more frequently than the 7-pin does.
There's a 3 yet. Oh, well, that's just, it's definitely moving to Chitoy.
That's a path, I guess. It's probably our best path.
You have to cut the 5-pin, don't you? We'll go ahead and cut the 8 bond. This does allow you to potentially accept a Dora, maybe a regular hand, but I just don't really see a regular hand. We have a Dama no Yaku hand on the right, which turns into a Pinfu. Dealer will call here, probably going just Tanyao.
I don't mind slamming this just because there's 2 sticks in the middle already, and the 7 so looks kind of okay from the open hand.
Yeah, with 2 of the 8s here, I'd slam this. Can't really take the 5 there. It would be Furitan. 5 should almost certainly be a call, but this is the problem, is you're going to be headless. Well, this should be the 9-pin. You can slide down to a 678 Sanjiku upgrade and get that 8-mon.
Yeah, it's nice to see one of the Dora visible and one discarded. So it's a little less likely that somebody has a Dora bomb. Makes me more willing to Reachy. That's
There's
the
the
upgrade.
5. There's the Pinfu waiting on 4-7, and there's the Richi. Richi Pinfu. Of course, we see a few of them, but not that many, actually. What, 3 left? Yeah, 3 left.
Now the open player has to rethink how much they want to push here. 5-mon half Suji?
It's by Dora. I think it's important the Dora is the 4. You're not going to deal in a Ryaman with the Dora here, but we'll instead just get out.
Yeah, the only Dora shape it deals into is the Kanchan for 6-mon.
And there are ways for that, but if you have a 4-6 and cut 1-1 early, I just don't buy it.
And not all hope is lost for White. Can still draw into Tempai. but
Well, 5 so definitely moves this hand to likely not going to be finished. And now you're pushing multiple tiles. He got scared. Well, there's just Tempai. I mean, I just pushed the 5 so.
yeah, Suji, not many.
We'll do so. Waiting on that 5 Montanki now.
Now Maya's turn. We'll just play out the safe 2-pin. Not take the wider Ishanten. 9-pin safe.
9 is safe. Dealer trying to get to Tempai here, but has to get some. Oh, uh-oh. It's just not here. You don't have enough draws. I just fold.
Yeah, 5 so
This is one
passed.
where it's very important to see you have one draw left and does get out. Doesn't immediately kill the hand off, but feels the 4 is safe. There's a Kabe and the 1 pin out, so it is actually Suja. It's a very good discard, but doesn't get there.
Yeah, we've seen Maya play with a lot of good defense against these open hands. And the Richis,
But the
obviously.
result is Raymond gets 3,000 there, and ooh, this pot is juicy.
3 Richi 6, 2 Homba now.
3,600 in the middle. Dealer with a few pairs here, and a Dora. Could be Pinfu, could be Pekka, could be Chitoy. Really hard to determine. On the right, though, that is a much better hand.
Home.
Richi, Pinfu, Tanyao, maybe a Dora across the way. Pinfu hand, nothing fancy. And on the left, we see the Haku Pon. Could potentially go Toy Toy, but I think it's just a call anything and go. The question is, if you get the 6-0, do you take it? And I probably would, and I'd cut the 3-5.
Ooh, playing for the sticks rather than the Dora.
There are just so many 6
Home.
out there. And the 1,000 to 2,000 is that big a deal. But okay, gets the 7. And we'll go ahead and keep the greedy value here. Because if you do draw that 5 pin, it turns into Haku Toy Toy Dora 3. You definitely make up the gap.
Oh, I see. The Toy Toy play. I always forget that you can do that.
Chi.
I just never assume that I'll get triplets.
Well, you don't have to. You just have to hit the shiny Pwn button. But we'll be Tempai now. Waiting on 8mon 8 so.
And the 8 so looks fantastic if someone draws the last one.
We also have Tempai on the right on 3 pin for Tanyao Nomi.
Players in stick collection duty. Dealer sees the 1-2-3 chance on Choku.
And one of those things to look at Maya's hand, a sumo will actually be extra value because it would push it to the 40 threshold. We might see a switch to Dora here. Will do so. Now waiting on the 5 pin. Haku Dora 1 versus Tanya Dora 1. Chitoy getting closer. That's not the tile you want, but we'll go ahead and cut the 1-2.
Raymond almost played for the Chitoy, though, from the beginning with that early 4 so cut. So perhaps this was the
Thinks
plan
about
all
the
along.
9, but it's not going to happen. Oh, there's the 8, and there it goes. Haku Dora 1 gets 5,600 and a direct hit. This game would be really close. 1,000-point difference now. Mai jumps into the lead, going it all last.
Close one, but Raymond has a chance to come back.
Wyatt is dealer here, though, with kind of a pinfu hand. They overlap on the 3-pin potential with the 1-2-4-5. Now as for 1 pin, has a Dora, but it's kind of hard to use because of the 8-8-9 shape, where 9 shows the Dora. On the right, definitely looks like Itsu in Sozu. Across the way, that's just a pinfu, maybe an Itsu, though. At the same time, you don't need value. You're in first place. On the left, that's a pinfu hand. You might want to try and brute force it into a Tanya, though. Maybe cut that 9 mon earlier than you normally would.
Yeah, early high pie advantage I think goes to Maya here, although Raymond does have the callability of a potential Tanyao, and it's important to note that if Raymond does win a Tanyao off of the dealer or the player in the south seat for 1,000 points, the two in the lead will tie for first place, and in this league, if you tie for first place, you split the Uma. So 15
Yes,
for
it'll
first.
show up wrong on screen, but it
Right.
is actually split. Because there's no way to tell 10-0, no, actually, we want to split it. What we do is we parse the logs afterwards and stick it in the standings.
Shout out once again to the admin who wrote a script to do all that automatically.
Ooh, 2-mon pair up. I want to go 1-mon and plan to cut the East-East if I can get like a 4-mon.
I'm on board with that. We'll just go East-East immediately.
Okay, just goes East-East. So the problem here is if you get the 3, the hand's really hard to use. I guess you have to accept it as the Kanchan. With the 3-5.
We
8
also,
isn't going to do anything. Gonna get thrown back.
yeah, Raymond making the shift early 9-mon cut, so just playing all the Tanyao tiles.
And Wyatt's hand just isn't really coming together. When you have this 8-8-9 shape, you know you're going to need the 7 because you don't ever want to cut the Dora. And if you pair up the Dora, then you have 8-8-9-9, and that's even worse.
Ishanten on the right for Ken. This could be the comeback hand to get out of last place. Potentially Itsu. Don't really want to open for this, though.
3-pin now moves the hand forward. Oh, well, you can just Ricci waiting on the Dora indicator here. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, you could also
Eat.
take Ricci Pinfu
You need the
three-sided.
value. Well, Ricci Pinfu isn't good enough here.
Agreed. I
Plus,
like
this table said they're willing to push Dora Indicator Suji before, so we'll see if it works out.
the issue is Maya's
Meanwhile, though,
called.
we just have Tempai across the way, 8-5, and of course that stick in the middle doesn't really matter how you win. But that's Maya who's in first place, doesn't really care.
And how the
7-mon
pressure.
is Suji, can just cut that safely.
I like
We'll
the
do
7.
so. Oh, this may deal in.
Oh, it's hard
The normal
not.
cut here's the 8. There it is!
Don't.
Ricci, Itsu, Dora, Mungon.
The
No Aurora,
hand.
but that's going to be a comeback there. Ken stealing second off of Wyatt at the very end.
Or third
But the winner
place, yeah.
here is going to be Maya with a 27.3. Solid result for Raymond as well with a 16.3. In third place, of course, Ken pulling off that comeback to third place in the last hand, minus 11.8. And in fourth place, Wyatt, after that deal in, just got in the situation with 2 Dora, East Shunten. You just have to push the Suge. It is Dora indicator, but at the same time, are they really waiting on it? Well, sometimes they are. We've seen a few of those in this game. So the minus 31.8.
Yeah, and even though the 5 still got called, I'm sure White remembered that was a discard. And there's always a chance that for the Ricci Suji trap, but he certainly had enough value in his hand. A Mongon level hand as dealer will get him over 30k, and even if he hits one of the other 2 leading players directly, can put him into second place. So definitely some incentive to fight. The hand just got there a little too late after the Ricci from Ken, and so standings will update. They've just played game 1 of this 4-game set. Let's see.
And there are plenty of other games going on at the same time. Simon with a win in A1, Brandon with a win in C1B. Of course, we just saw Maya and Brendan coming in with a first in C1A.
All right. A little bit of time before the games start. Actually, if we want to maximize our coverage, there's another C1 table that's starting in a few minutes. This one is starting in just under a minute. Game 2 of this table, at least.
I'm fine either way. If the viewers have any input, if not, we'll go ahead and take our choice.
I'm in the middle
Yeah,
of
I'm not.
checking the game results for A1 because I'm very curious what they look like after.
All right, sounds like we should go ahead and switch to C1. So that'll be Brian, Zach, TC, and Brendan.
All right, will take me a moment.
Yeah, the previous game for this grouping was Brendan first place 36.5, Zach second 19.1, Brian minus 12.4, and TC minus 43.2. And the big hand here is just there was a Toy non Dora 3 dealer Hanemon deal in. So that'll definitely set the table up.
Ooh, I wonder if Brendan is a sub.
Isn't he 9th?
Okay.
Oh, Brendan, no, 10th.
Oh yeah, yeah. For some reason, it's not the game isn't showing up, but
No, we have a Brandon and a Brendan, so that's always fun as a commentator.
there's two Brandons and a Brendan. All right, that's just about set. Switch the table number, switch the game number, and the game should be booting up now.
According to this, should be starting any second, and that's what it looks like. Of course, something to remember, people in C1A were ones who were in the league before, so you may have seen some of these names before. C1B are the new entrants to the league, and we, of course, welcome them and wish them the best in their climbs, as we do to everyone. And we're off, Brian, with a double East pair. Decent shapes here. I think you just call and go. On the right, Pinfu Hand, 3-poon really help. Across the way, Pinfu Hand, but not much else. The 3 there really helps because it shuts a door potentially, and the shapes just look a lot better. And on the left, few pairs, 3 so would help. You have a couple honors to get rid of, but it just looks cheap. Maybe a Dora later, Richie Pinfu Dora 1, but you're just underblocked.
Yeah,
Oh, well, just draw the 3rd East yourself, and there's your value. You don't need anything else as dealer.
double tone by itself already a fantastic hand to go for. Also, apologies to viewers. The standings page isn't updating with the names properly, so looks like we might need to get a reset on that. It's still showing the players from the last game, but the top portion is correct. We have TC, Zach, Brian, and Brendan.
All right, well, the 8 so getting cut from the 5, 6, 7, 8. Likes to keep the 6, 6 shape. I think I'd cut the 6 from the 5, 6, 6. 5, 7, 6, 7, 8 is such a strong block. West isn't going to do anything, and we can also see Dealer here trying to move this to Chanta as well. There's a Sanshigu, but it's really hard to pull off.
Yeah, at the very
Oh,
least,
1-pin pair up. It's another pair, but yeah, you're just going to cut the 1s, continue moving forward.
at the very least, only the 2-mon can allow Brian to use the door, even if it's not a Chanta in the end.
Ooh, I'd call this.
1、
And you don't really want to be on this 2 shape, but you have to remember that if you connect to that 2, finding a pair is going to be very difficult in this hand. You really want that 7 so. I might get it right here. But this is likely, yeah, there it is. Just take it, cut the 2. You're waiting Chanta on the 1-pin talk. It might come out right here. Doesn't yet, but I think Zach's just going to deal in.
Yeah, that 1-pin doesn't really look that dangerous. You kind of have
There's
to
the
wonder.
5, throw it back.
You have to wonder what the Yaku is. It's not like a flush because the 6
Well, it
so
doesn't
and
look
4 so came out.
Itsu-ish because you've already cut the 4, 6 from the Itsu. Could have switched to the...
Wrong.
There's the 1. As I said, it was just going to come out. I don't see how you dodge that. At some point, it's just dealing in for the 3 Han, and nice hand there from Brian.
Good start, good do, high pie.
Decent Pinfu hand here. Connects up to Dora as well. Maybe Peiken and Lower Manzu on the right. Pinfu hand actually already Ishunten across the way. Hatsu pair. Maybe just call and go because the rest shapes are really bad though. And we do have Tempai on the right. Will not Richi. Would be Richi no bad weight. And on the left, also a really good hand.
1、
Oh,
Wow.
that 4-pin. That feels like this was a sign. Because normally in that situation, if you don't take the reach, you should cut the 9. And this turn would have been able to cut the 7 and reach you on the 3-6 weight for guaranteed Pinfu possible Dora. Three Somos, possibly Peiko there on the left, can definitely fight this down. 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku potential here for the dealer. 5 being the pair. 7 so is really the choke point for the hand, though.
1.
Oh, that's just Tempai. This is Richi, Ipeiko, Dora, what on Duso? And you're kind of wondering, wait, that's Tempai already? Are you kidding me? That's the type of situation I don't mind just cheating to break the Apatsu, because you still have a route for Sanshoku here. But instead, we'll go ahead and pass it, and we'll see how things go.
Yeah.
Kupin is Suji on the right, but it's not that great.
2 weights of similar quality with similar, I guess.
Similar quality to say bad. Uh-oh, this may be the 8. Could be the 2. 2 is the most efficient cut here.
1 mon is fold is a thing to do. Place the 5 mon.
5 is safe because it came on the right. That's a very reasonable. Uh-oh. This one I think you just deal it. It's Suji. I don't see why you wouldn't just cut the 8 here.
4.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, Trichi numbers. Don't flip or on me. And okay, take your 16. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I don't feel bad about dealing in on those.
you pass the dealership forward and you say, yeah, I net 4,200. That's perfectly fine. Good dealership.
Because an average sumo is going to cost a lot more for the dealer than 1,600. But dealer here has a great starting hand. Richi, Pinfu. Well, maybe not Pinfu, but definitely Tanyao. On the right, though, dreams of Daisungen, but the Chun is the Dora indicator, which means Haku is Dora, so very unlikely to get it. It's kind of Hatsu and maybe Hope to Dora Tonki. Across the way, it feels like a Chanta route. And on the left, pretty standard Pinfu hand, 6-so, and 5-pin would really help.
Hakadora, always fun. What will happen? We'll drop the first white dragon. We'll clear
Another
the way.
pair up there on the right. As TC advances a little bit. The 3 pair, the 6 pair, and working on the 9s now. We'll pull in the Hatsu. Doesn't immediately sell out for the Honitsu. Just going to cut the West for now.
Yeah, it's such a weird hand. I don't mind selling out and then folding.
Yeah, this is the type of hand where I really want to make sure I have a safe tile, because I just don't think it ever finishes.
Well,
Ishanta now on the left. Yeah, but again, still, you need a lot of help. You need the other Dora. If you get another Haku, then we can start talking.
meantime, dealer advancing. Another bond comes into hand, so that will break away from the 6-8 pen.
Now, dealer Ishan 10 headless now.
Ooh, big draw.
1.
Yeah, just Rishi Pinfu. Can take the Shaw weight, which you might go for, but because the 2-5 isn't that good. But I'm still just taking the Pinfu here. Yeah. That's the other thing about a Pinfu shape like this is if you see a bunch of them out, you know what else has generally tends to be true? No one else has them.
Yeah, we can see.
If they were worthless tiles, they're generally worthless tiles. We might see a con here. We'll hold it at least for now. And it isn't quite there yet. That's just Tempai. I imagine this is a chase. And it is.
Yeah,
we'll just throw that safe tile. Said, okay, glad I didn't con. Would definitely be regretting it right now. 7 so is Suji. That's reasonably safe.
Yeah, post Richi Suji as well after cutting 8-6. Really, really safe.
Yeah, thinks about it for a while. Would eventually says, yeah, it's fine, whatever.
The tricky bit is going to be jamming this Dora.
Oh, yeah, now's your Dora choice. You throw the Chun. Chun is the safe entry. Okay, gotta say, it's planning for that Toy.
Oh, Haku
well,
comes
Dora's
out.
clear. That's the... Oh, well, okay, sure. And because the pawn is not taken across the way, the 5 is not drawn.
Yeah, Brendan collecting all of these spin tiles.
And just going to be a miss. 2 players tempi. 2-5 was good on the wall, but just never got there. Meanwhile, Zach going to be dealer here. Again, gets the repeat as 3 pairs. I don't like that 5-pin cut. I think this just plays regular Tanya hand. This feels like Cheat Toy Brain.
It does.
And if you have not listened to me before, I hate Cheat Toy.
Home.
Okay, never mind. It might just be Toy Brain. Because if this were Tanyao, then you would have just cut the 9 and be in reasonably good shape here. I don't even hate this call. I hate the discard to begin the hand with, because that door acceptance would have really helped. On the right, though, we have a potential Cheat Toy, potential Toy, potential regular hand. 4-pin would be a real interesting draw. You could turn it into a Ipeco Dora 2. Across the way, Pinfu hand. 7-1 would really help. On the left, Pinfu hand there as well, but needs a little bit of assistance around the 5-pin.
Well, there's a 6-pin.
Can't complain about that. There's another Onko. Another set of 5s. Definitely going the Toy route now. 9-pin Onko. It's actually a pretty wide shape. Cannot call that 7.
Brian's got really interesting shapes, and floating as many tiles as possible by cutting the 7, so.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's the 4 I was talking about. You just play as regular. I'd cut 3-pin every time. We'll cut the 6 here, so the potential 2-trap later on the 3. We know the 5 is terrible, so it's actually a good shape. Oh, the backfire.
Turns out that this was supposed to be a 5s and 6s Toy.
Not usually how this works, but it can happen. Hatsu is dead, so it's useless. Oh, would have loved that 9-so, though. Amon pair up could go 9-9 here, just brute force the Tanyao.
Yeah, with door 2, that makes some sense.
Instead, locks the door 2 in, cutting the 2-pin.
Sacking the 7 so for wider block acceptance is causing a backfire here for Brian. And with all these 6s and 9s so.
Ishan on the right.
Home.
There's our tempi. 9-so is 2 cut, so definitely gonna wait on the 1-cut 9. And now we're just Suwanko Ishan 10.
Oh my goodness. And TC definitely loves going for big hands.
And this 9's going to come out eventually, because Brendan just has no reason to hold the 9s.
Oh, there's an improvement.
I think it's right here. Yeah, this should be a deal in.
Dodges.
No!
Toy.
I don't know how he got out of that one, but it was definitely the right play.
Oh!
Suwanko Tempai
Each.
can also take the cheaper way, but you have to go for the Suwanko, don't you?
There's only
the problem
one
is there's
tile.
one south.
Doesn't matter, it's Suwanko. You gotta go for it.
One south. Can you draw it? Cannot call that. Well, there's the Dora. You know it's Poland. You can't con here, even.
Yeah, definitely safe against the Ricci player. They dropped it for Tempai.
It feels reasonably safe. What is it? Oh, you know, the 9's Suji now. Spoiler, don't trust Suji when someone's going Toy.
It doesn't work that way.
I have seen people do it, and you just wonder why.
The South should be in the wall. There's no reason for players to have held it.
We're looking for it. Where's that South? 1 pin is safe. The 2 is safe. You don't have to throw the 3 here.
Con.
Con?
Con. The 6 has already been cleared.
That gives TC Haite. We'll need Haite
One more
Sumo.
round. Yeah, it gets a little scared on that 9. Could have called and shoved the 4 for... Yeah, that's Tempai. Would have been Tempai, but doesn't take it, and it's a miss.
Yeah.
South dead wall, dreams destroyed.
I'll have to wonder what that last tile that was conned out of the wall was. Zach holding the Tempai, though, gets the repeat.
Yes, and we have 3 sticks in the middle, so anything you get is worth a lot just by itself. And so I'm looking immediately at hands. A Chun pair on the right, the ideal hand, but Deal's a pretty good starting hand here as well. Potential Ricci Pinfu Dora 1. But as mentioned, the fast hand is the one on the right. Just look for that Chun. 3,600. You don't need to think too much else when that's in the middle. Across the way, maybe a 3-4 Sanshoku. Looking pretty good. Can use the 9,987 for a pair and a run as well. But then you see 2 sixes or a 6 and a 3 preferably. And on the left, a few pairs. So it feels more Pinfu than anything else. Haku pair up now on the right. You have 2 different Yakuhai to call. Abandons the plan for a 4-5-6 Sanshoku.
봄,
There's the Chun going to be called. Now Ishanten may end up just having to use this Haku as a pair. Not ideal, but if you get it, you get it.
Yeah, with 2 Kantan shapes, you're totally fine calling the Haku and cutting one of the blocks away.
Well, what about Sanshoku?
I'm always a fan of Sanshoku.
Can get the 6, 7, 8. Now Ishanten needs 7 pin and 8 so.
Ooh, I was wondering if...
Oh, well, there's one. Now Tenpai with possible Sanshoku. It is Chun,
Each.
Dora, and possible Sanshoku. But there's our Tenpai on the left. This is Ricci, Dora 1, 1, 4.
No.
And there's our Sumo on the expensive end.
You cannot stop the power of Sanshoku. And all those Ricci
Sanshoku,
sticks.
Chun, Dora 1, all the sticks. Huge win there for TC.
Takes the lead. 37-6. Didn't get the Suwanko, but...
Gets the 6 back. It's fine.
Yeah, get your sticks back. Get your dealership.
And as a decent starting in here, a nice little Peiko, especially get another Formon. On the right, Hatsu pair, may just be call and go. Across the way, Pinfu hand, nothing special. Does have a Dora, though. That's always nice. And on the left, Pinfu hand, but kind of a bad one. Trying to fish for 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku, but it's just a long way off. Now, this 5-mon might push TC towards Honitsu even. Cuts the Penchon 9, 8 pin.
Feels like... Okay, there's the call from Brendan to Ishanten. Kind of this headless...
Yeah, the normal cut here is either the 8 or the 2.
Yeah. Kind of like
but
the 2
nothing's
myself.
really good. The advantage of the 2 is you have double Nobeton chances. This should definitely be the 6. Yeah. Now you have a Nobeton and effectively a Ryankan. There's a shape in Monzu a lot of people miss. There's effectively a locked in 7, 8, 9, and then a Ryankan 2, 4, 6. People oftentimes try to read that as something else.
Yeah, it's like 2, 4, 6, 9. Like only the 4 mon is the unhelpful tile. Really solid.
Doesn't do anything, but it helps there on the left. The Junchan now getting closer, but doesn't have a real pair in there. There's our 6. This is Ipeiko Tenpai. Yeah, just waiting on that 4.
Kind of brutal to
8
fold against.
safe. I mean, I just throw the 8 pin. Because the 5-8 just doesn't look that good anyway. That is Tenpai, but that's not a Yaku, is it? No, it's not. That does not deal in, even though it is lit up. Was the 2 so as a pair, can't use that for Junchan. Does, of course, give Zach a free 2-so cut and can wait on the Shaw for Chanta.
1 west left? Oh, it doesn't.
That is... Yeah, that is a mistake. That's just objectively a mistake.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing the benefit of holding the 2, so now that it's been cleared. I definitely don't like cutting it before that point.
We'll switch to a Chun. Okay, we'll switch to the Chun, and this is fine. Gets there anyway. The Chun actually looks really good. They're all in the wall.
Brian's drawn 3 Dora across the table, so definitely incentivized to push.
Well, that's not the ideal tile. 5, that's Tenpai. We'll go ahead and break it, though. Could have taken the 2-mon Tenpai or the 5-so Tenpai. Doesn't like either of them.
8 so clears, so that gives Brian another chance to get back in, and 3 pin increases the tile acceptance.
7-so is not a great choice here because it is Dorasuji, but we'll get shoved. And when you've made these calls, this is something a lot of people get in trouble on, is they're not comfortable. But at this point, you actually could fold with that. You know the 2's safe. You figure the 1's safe. The 9 looks pretty safe with the 6 having already been passed. You could have gotten out of here. Oh, the 2-mon would have finished the hand. So Brendan misses out on a win there. Didn't want to push it. It's a really rough situation. We're pushing for 1 Han into a dealer Ichi.
Yeah. Chance to
Three
switch
pin, 3
around.
pin. I would
Ooh.
always go
Boom.
3. There's the 4. Deals into the Ipeco. Ichi Ipeco, no Aura, so just the 39. Those Ipeco are always scary when you're waiting on that Dora, because you know there are a lot of chances to flip too.
Yeah, automatically 3 pairs in the hand.
Boom.
4 pairs even. A lot of the times.
Yes, and there we see the West call on the left, probably just Honitsu. Dealer here with a few pairs, could also go real hand, could go Tanya. 6-pin would kind of be a deal draw, but then you just move it towards a Tanya Ipeco Dora 1. On the right, Pinfu hand needs a little bit of work, has a Dora floater, needs something to connect to it. Across the way, 2 Dora, and you want to call, but you can't with this hand. You have that 9-mon Anko and a 1/1/2. On the left is mentioned as a Manzu Honitsu. And you want to go Chinitsu, but you've already called the West. It's just a mess.
Yeah, I mean, the West definitely advances you. It is a weak first call because it is not a value wind here, so players can jam
Oh,
against the
there's
100 suit that's not in
Dora.
the door suit.
And you can see the delay there. Wants to call it, but you just can't. You're not getting Toy Toy out of this without some major shifting. 9 shows a great Dar there on the right. Now Ishan 10 will cut the 8-pin. 6 connects there nicely in the Sozu. Oh, that's a great draw with that 5 so. Now Ishan 10 for dealer. Has Ryankan 3, 5, 7-pin, and of course the 4/5.
Each.
1-mon Anko is now Tempai. Richidora 2. Waiting on just the 3-mon. There is only one of those left.
Of course, their eyes. 4 left, but certainly not as
Each.
many as you'd hope.
Well, we're going to see a chase here. I mean, you can relatively safe entry with the 1, but I just reach you the 7. Wait on the 2/5 here.
I wonder if you ever rely on the flush player having a bunch of Bonzu, and so the 7-mon's less dangerous to the Ricci player.
Well, that's what happened, and Trust said this is the better way, but it's a 2/5 versus a 3. And the scary hand, which we know isn't really that scary, at least yet, is not there. Well, that's not much.
The 1 player's...
the 5's not, because there's the 5, though, deals in. Richidomi.
Oh!
3! Ouch!
Not...
We were talking we were in the last hand. Well, that's the classic way to turn a cheap hand into an expensive one. Brandon with a huge hit. That's brutal.
Wow. Not the way I was expecting to see a Mongon.
All right, Brendan here has a great starting hand. Richi Ipeiko Ishantan on the right. Pinfu, maybe a Tanya hand. Across the way, 3 Dora. Has the south pair, but is not south player. That's the kind of hand you want to just brute force some calling hand in. You have Chanta, but now it just looks like Honitsu. So that would be my plan. And on the left, that's actually not a bad hand either. Needs a 3-pin pretty badly. Now you have an Ipeiko route. 7 so kind of the choke point in the hand, though. And dealer sitting here with 2 of them that are just never coming out.
Ooh.
Ooh, that 3-mon is a really inefficient cut. I do not like that.
Yeah, losing out on
The
the
7 isn't even
2/5.
that good a floater because you already cut the 8.
Oh, our Tempai.
That would have been Tempai. Unfortunate. And in the meantime, this is going to give Zach time to make that very scary hand possibly real.
Yeah, that's a Dora 3. 1 so's coming back for revenge, it looks like.
9-pin, can't call that. 6 so, this may come out and it would be insta-pwned if I saw the chance. We'll go ahead and hold it for now. It's a decent floater. Wants the Tanya route. Plus, of course, when you see the discard, you think it's probably a Honitsu. They should just be the 6 so, though. No, may just be squeezing it.
Definitely feels like it's a squeeze.
Well, there's the 1 so. We'll go ahead and hold it for now. It is the Dora. And that hand can even pawn the Dora at this point.
Interestingly, Brian could have called for... Oh, sorry, that was the...
Yeah, it was on the left. No, not the right chi choice. This may be the Dora, and if it comes out, you insta-pawn it.
Certainly, you get a 4/7 4/7 so weight, rather.
Yes. And you think the long decision here is, do I really cut it? Nope.
Itsu? I think this is an Itsu play.
It's there. It's actually, there's a route for it. 6 is Tempai. Your opponent got the 5 probably. This is a
Oh.
1-4-8 weight. And this 8 may end up dealing in even if you dodge the Dora.
Yeah, this is trouble. At this point, TC needs to not draw into Tempai.
Good switch to Toy Toy. And will, because the 2-4 out, figures the 3-8 may be better. And of course, there's a lot of value. And sitting here in 4th place, the greedy play, we'll see if it gets rewarded. There's only 1 3-so left. But the 8 may come out.
5-so is safer. TC starts
5
there.
is definitely safe. Trying to decide if there's a route to get this to the Tanya to shut it down, but it's just not throwing Sozu. Well, I say that and immediately throws the 7.
Yeah, it's a little... Oh,
There's Tempai
Eat.
for dealer, but this is Furi 10.
can't go Shabo.
Can go Shabo if you cut the 5. I think just realized the Furi 10.
Okay, goes 3D.
That long delay tends to be the wait a second. Oh, wait a... Oh.
Yeah, 7-so did clear just a moment ago. It's Suji.
Yes, there is 1-7 and 1-4
Oh,
out there. Oh, get the
Ipatsumo!
Ipatsumo! They shuts this all down. Richi Ipatsu Sumo. Ura Mongon. Brenda just putting on a clinic on these Richis. Just hit Ura.
I didn't need the turn for Richi. I was just waiting for the Ipatsumo Shabo wait. We've seen
The thing
some...
about Furi 10 is it is a Yaku, I've been told.
Yeah. We've seen some incredible, like, pair or Shabo weights win. And they seem to be hitting Ipatsu as well.
All right. Well, off of that now, 46,100. Clear first place now for Brendan. Pinfu, Tanya, Mini Peiko in here. On the right, we have a Hatsu Anko. Is that Ishanten? It looks like it. Yes, it is. Across the way, Pinfu hand, but a little slow. And on the left, Pinfu hand really needs the 4-pin, though. Actually, it wouldn't even be Pinfu because the north is the Yakuhai. So, oh, well, that's just Tempai. I'd cut the 3-pin. I don't want
Same.
this.
We can do better. Okay, goes with the 2 instead. We'll hold the
Goes with the
Dama.
Dama here. Wants to try and shift something, but I just don't think much of the 3-pin. That 2 is just such a good accepting tile.
Yeah, so the main like benefit that the 3-pin gives us is the 4-pin sumo. And I'm kind of sad if I had sumo 4-pin, so...
Exactly. Even here, I'd still cut the 3.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8 is a good accepting shape. You can get the 4.
Uh-oh, do we have a disconnect? Looks like it.
4, 6,
Oh, that's
7,
unfortunate for Brian.
9.
There's a 5. Okay. Well, I'd already cut the north, so looking for the value out of this. And it's always unfortunate there's a disconnect. Dealer says, okay, well, if you're going to give it to me, I'll just take my Tempai now, waiting on the 5-8. And we see those 5s, though, are pretty locked up there.
Yeah, TC ended up cutting north-north.
Yeah, it wanted the Tanyao. Oh, and there could have been the
3-7.
route.
Ipatsu.
Eat.
Oh, Brian got back.
Oh, just comes back and draws the perfect tile, and nothing has been missed. You see a Chi across the way. Maybe try to brute force Itsu out of this. I think it's more Chi to just break the Ipatsu, though.
Eat.
Technically Tempai. TC will take it, waiting on the 2-pin that just came out.
Tuso is Suji to both. May just throw it back. We'll do so.
Oh, can't con!
Oh, the 5! Can't con and will deal into dealer, who says thanks for the sticks. And Brendan just expands the lead here. Has another decent hand. The shapes aren't great, but does have a tuned pair. Can call and go on the right. Pinfu hand. These are those honors across the way. Ugh. 3 pairs and nothing else. Ugh. On the left, Pinfu hand, it's not... Okay, the 8-so helps a lot. Now you can move this towards an Itsu. I didn't see really much of a route, but you really need a 6-so or an 8-so, and did get the 8.
Yeah, relatively slow hands here, except the dealer who has the ability to open. And even then, the shapes are somewhat awkward. A couple 6, 8, 9s.
Home.
And there is the Chun Pon says, okay, I'm in the lead. We want to run the score up. Can't see a reason not to. It's important in the league's situation, especially in the C division, to try and run up those score when you get a chance.
홈,
Yeah, if you're in the lead and you have points to play around with, you can risk a few more things. Try to collect a big bounty.
And we see there Brian making the pawn. We are still at East round. It doesn't feel like it, but we
No.
are just in East 4. And now 2 Dora.
Yeah, it makes sense. There's a small world where you can toy here.
I just cut the 6 so I'd figure out what you're going to do later. Instead cuts the A. You lose out on a little bit of acceptance if you want to turn them on to a 2 shape. This is the problem. We have a 3, 5, 6, 8, and 2 suits. You kind of want to keep both of them because one of them will fill and the other will be terrible. Whereas now you've just decided you're getting both in Pinzu, which means you're going to have to get that door indicator. There's a 3, should be an easy chi. Cut the 1, 2. But it is passed. I'd definitely call. I wouldn't even think about that one.
It doesn't feel like a flush at all, so I'm kind of curious. Maybe just like believing that there's more 3/6 mon out there to get and wants to fill one of the worst shapes first.
Well, the other advantage of this is you can always draw 6 pin in your tempai. Not to mention the pawning options on anything.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, would you chi 6-pin?
Not now.
치,
And similarly, even that chi, it's not great. And this is, well, okay, does fill the 3. The hardest block is fixed. Now Ishan 10.
Well,
Oh, just draw everything perfectly. Why didn't I try that?
it's a hidden strat.
Just tempai for Tone Dora 2 waiting on 3/6.
치,
You think you have to chi this. The problem is now what are you going to do? You're likely going to be on that 5 or 6. Maybe you get a Tonki here for a Dora, but if you draw like the 7, which one do you cut?
Yeah, it's rough going.
This is a situation I have been known to get myself in before.
Usually what I see with 4 tiles, it's like 4 isolated tiles, not connected tiles.
Only with Honitsu. This is
Fair.
bluffing Honitsu, but there's a 9 so it's probably not Honitsu. And if it's disconnected tiles, it's usually not that bad, because 2 or 3 of them are always safe. Because you have like 2 Mon, 9 Mon, Pei, and Hatsu. The Pei and Hatsu are probably safe, and the 9 Mon's usually pretty safe.
1,
Meanwhile, I have a Chitoy on the left, and speaking of Chitoy, we have one across as well, but that one's actually Tempai waiting on that 7 Mon. But there are 2 out. This is a Hellweight Ricci. It is in the wall, though.
Yeah, this is definitely a play that screams trap. The 7-mon is very well disguised. Like, no one should be
The
expecting
thing is that 2 Mon probably would have come out anyway, and you have to think it was a better weight.
Only if Kansai Chitoy is allowed.
Yeah, that is the problem, isn't it?
I keep
there's
advocating.
the 3.
Oh, dodges.
Dodges it. Good dodge. 6 is also safe. I think this is one where you just look at the score and say, I'll pass the dealer, have fun.
All right, 6-pin, I guess.
6-pin. Should always be 6-pin here.
동,
No! Throws the 6, deals in. Tone Dora 2 with a couple Homba, and that's a bit of a hit there. If you're going to break the Tempai, you should just stick to your plan, because it was just a Sumagiri wall. You knew the 6 was safe.
Yeah, sometimes it's easy to forget that you don't actually have a draw left.
치,
And we see the East, but it is no longer double East. This is Brian here, can potentially accept a Dora. Hand's reasonably quick. On the right, we see the 1, 2, 3, but I'm not 100% sure on the Yaku. Well, now it's just Junchan. That 1 Mon is an amazing pickup, because now you're never even going to be Furiton unless you draw specifically the 6 Mon. Across the way, well, a couple pairs, maybe a Tanya. You have 2 Dora, so you want any... That's an easy
치,
call. I would not be taking this long, and it's passed! Why? Medora! The hand's so slow. You already have 2 open hands. I think that's just a miss. On the left, though, we have maybe an Ipeco, Ishan 10, if you pair up the 6 or the 8. Dealer Tempai now waiting on Sanzo, and it may come out. Not
Chi.
just yet, though.
Eventually does get the shift to the open hand, Tanyo, North coming out.
Yeah, gets the Forso, which is really the choke point in the hand. We're
Home.
going to see a switch here. That's going to be pawned.
Of course, the 3 so comes out after.
Well, yeah, but that's because of the 1. It
Right,
wasn't
right.
going to come out.
It does make the 2 so
Home.
pretty live.
Now, that third pawn actually does not help this hand. That's a bad pawn. That you need the 2 and the 9, and I don't know. You have to get the 9, and yeah, there you go. You have to get the 9 specifically and wait on the
Eat.
1. Meaning you can't use the Dora.
Oh, Ricci now. Ricci
This
only waiting on the
Ricci
7
Nomi
pin.
waiting on the 7. We see 2 out.
3 out.
3
even.
out. So it's a Hellweight Ricci. 1 mon clears. Of course, it was safe to the Ricci already.
And Brian has 8 pin if he ever wants to try to fold. Or at least Mawashi a little bit, but
3 is safe. 5 is
Chi.
terrible, but does get thrown. Tempai now, 6-0 mon. The 6-0 are dead. 1-2 is out. Just waiting for that last 2, I guess. Could switch here,
D10 though.
but it would be Fury 10.
Sumo.
Oh, just draw the 2. East Dora. And Brian going to pick up 4,000, 3,000 and the stick. Get back over 30K. We're going to have 3 over 30K.
Aggressive fight for the dealership, but does get to hold on.
As a Pinfu hand, nothing fancy here. On the right, similarly Pinfu hand, maybe to Peiko on a 2-pin draw across the way. Pretty standard Pinfu, nothing fancy here. On the left, we have a Haku pawn, no value. Really need to 3-mon. Oh, just get it. No, no, no!
Misclick. Misclick. Oops.
That has to be a misclick. That hurts.
It
hurts to have that happen. Okay, so that's actually a nice fix. Now you can use the one mon 3 so. This is all cultist behavior. I have seen this before in my life. This is a cultist who has said it is Sanzo.
Yeah, the first hand of my second round
Passes
games.
the 1 though. Oh no. May not have even thought about it for a second. That's just a miss on the 1 mon. Because that fixes your problems immediately if you take that.
Yeah, we still have the 50-10 potential. Like, I guess you can cut away from it now.
I mean, I say this, but the only way this makes sense is if it is, I'm winning on Sanzo, that is the end of that.
Ooh.
Because now 1 mon is dead. And now, ooh, a cheat toy waiting on a 7, so.
Well,
And it's going to win.
yeah, if the 6s keep coming out,
Yeah, it's just going to win.
I'm always a fan
Unless
of waiting.
the wall just eats it.
But
well, I'm going to feel really bad. The 2-pin being the next draw, Ariane Peiko down the drain. But does win the hand. Ricci Chitoy would be big here. Doesn't get it, though. 3,500. Close the gap a little bit. Still a long way to go.
yeah, just south too. But you've got your dealership.
Zach Steeler here with a pretty good starting end here. Potential Ricci, Pinfu, Tanyao, Ipeiko. On the right, we have a double south, maybe Pon and Go. Across the way, Pinfu hand through for Sanshagu. And on the left, Pinfu hand, maybe some sort of 6, 7, 8 Sanshagu. But the best hand is probably the one on the right with the dealer hand not being that bad.
Yeah, dealer 4 Sean 10, so has some work to do. Because when I open up this hype, there's only one thing in my mind, and that's to collect more green tiles.
Yuiso. One of the most underrated Yakuban because he just doesn't exist.
It really doesn't exist. I've never seen it.
I have been Tempai for it 3 times.
I've seen photos of other people.
2 of them were Furry 10. As in, I draw the 5 so. No, that is not what I want. I don't care. We're throwing it back. If we have a chance for it, we're going for it.
Yeah, Toyman Brendan's got some really nice draws here. Ishan 10 for Ricci P for potential E-Pig and Sanchoku with the Dora as well, locked in shape.
And we see Zach here breaking the Chito Ishanten, wants the Honetsu. One so nice fill there on the left. That is now Ishanten. But we'll likely end up having to cut the door. You should cut 8 pin here because you can still accept the 5 so. Or
Boom.
5 mon. And we see the 1 pin pawn. That's now Chanta double south Ishanten.
Okay. Some value.
Feels really sad if you have to pawn the 9 though.
And notably, Zach not calling the 5 so I definitely feel like he's thinking about the Yakuman for sure.
Each.
Yeah, just throws the 4. Doesn't even care. There's our Ipeco fill. Richi, Pinfu, Ipeco. No Sanshigu, though. Richi, Pinfu, Ipeco, door. It is Mangan. Mine's got a little bit bigger than it actually was. Because the wrong Richi happened. That's why.
Yeah.
If you Richi on the 6, you have the Sanshigu route. This is just a mistake. Missed the Sanshigu on the 3-4-5.
Fortunately, it looks like the 3 so will never come out, so it shouldn't matter, but TC did get the Tenpai on the 2 so. There are 0 left because Zach is drawing insanely well for the number of tiles that he wants being held by other players.
Seven, so it is safe. This should be a chi. You just move the shunt, and it's passed. I would definitely have taken this. You're just so far behind this hand, you have to make something happen. You cannot afford to lose your dealer turn here.
Yeah, Zach here going for glory.
Well, the thing about a prayer is oftentimes it's not answered.
There are no more 3s to call. The 4 isn't super helpful here either, so really needs to draw a Hatsu. Those are all gone. Yeah, at this point, there's just no hope.
Boom.
Yeah, there's the pawn, but still Isha 10. 7 is Suji. It's fine.
Sumo.
There's the sumo. Gets the last 6 on the wall. Read sumo Pinfu. Ipe Kudora 1. No Ura, but that is Mongon. So going to jump way out in first again. TC is going to be dealer here in second place.
The only other player to have managed to stay over 30k.
Well, you're paying out Spilmos like that. It is hard to do so. But this looks like Pinfuan does have a floating Dora here. You'd love to pair that up and just call, especially that 8-so pair as well. On the right, that just looks like Honed, so you have double wins, but there's just no value in it. If either of those are south, you're celebrating with a hand like that. But at the same time, your score's such that you don't really care. You just call anything anyway. Across the way, Pinfu hand, nothing fancy on the left. Pinfu, maybe an Itsu, also has a floating Dora. Question is, how long do you hold on to that?
Oh, the classic.
This is when I get to pull a dust and say, did not trust the Sanso adjacency theory.
Of course. In the meantime, we see the Honitsu coming together on the right. Maybe even can turn to Chitoi. Did I use the word can? Alright.
Can, but
Won't.
maybe we'll see. Also, that hound on the right's getting a little scary.
If it can stay closed. It can be Itsu.
Yeah, Itsu, Honitsu, no. And there's no reason to stay closed here.
Yeah.
With the scores as they are, this should probably be 7 pin. Because that also gives you the Itsu route, which is an actual way to get value out of this. I definitely cut 7 pin.
2 or 7 pin, both kind of work.
The 2 does the same thing. I think the 6-9 is a good final weight. I don't think the 2 really does much.
Yeah, the 2 might also be easier to call for an alternate Tenpai.
Especially with a 1 having already come out. You figure the 2 is just not that used. Although you're a little concerned the dealer might also be looking for Pinzu with that pond. And no, it's just dealer suffering instead. Oh, okay. Well, that's the other route you could have gotten the Tenpai on. Not how I would have drawn it up, but okay.
Boom.
There's the West. That's an easy call. You just cut the 8 here, waiting 3-6 for Bakahon.
I guess you can sumo
For those
3
who aren't
pin.
Yeah, it's extra fu on a sumo on a 3-pin,
Go.
but it's just going to come out. That's going to shut this down 2,000 and move the game to all last.
By the way, Zach's hand on the left was getting super spicy there.
Well, he's running out of time. We're in all last, and Brendan sitting here in first place with a Ricci Pinfu hand. Not much value, but reasonably fast on the right. Similarly, Pinfu hand has a Dora, but not very fast across the way. Slow Pinfu hand on the left.
Richidora?
Slow Ricci Dora 1.
Yeah.
Maybe an Itsu now you can consider with that 4. Oh, I do not like that 1 so cut. If I draw like 8 so or 9 so next turn, I'm going to be so sad. Because I would be thrilled to call this down for Itsu Dora 1 and just take my second and get out of here.
Even if I draw the 3, so I'd prefer to have the 1 through 7 rather than one of these honor tiles.
Right. This one we're just over prioritizing the honor tiles. But across the way, it definitely sees the Itsu route there, but there's just no real value in it. I feel this is one where you just need to try and build some sort of value out of it, rather than just call for a rough 1,000 to try and get out of the game. The advantage of this, though, is as long as you keep someone else under 30k, you don't have to pay out the extra 5 UMA for being the only under 30. The problem is this hand needs a lot of help to even get to Itsu. And we're now seeing the 7th and 8th start to collect. And you need both of those to make this Itsu.
Yes.
Oh, and there's that 9. And you just cut the 5 anyway. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
You get the 3 so and the 8 so acceptance here, so.
This should
have to jump
be
the
no.
door just yet.
Okay. I don't like that call. I would definitely have called with the 4, 5, 6 because I just see the Sancho go a little wider here. But it's okay. It didn't end up mattering. When the 7 comes out, you just call it. It doesn't end up matter. It's just easy chi. The stall there was probably more. Do I pawn it on the right? Can we make Tanya out of this? The answer is no. You can't.
And when you're the
This might be
dealer,
a Shinitsu play across the way that deals in, and if it is, I don't hate it. But instead, that looks like a fold.
yeah, when you're the dealer trying to make this chi on a penchant and the tile lags, that is a rough feeling.
Yeah, well, there's Senpai waiting on Sponzo for Chundor 1. And we'll pawn and deal in. And again, I don't hate this, but I don't think if you're going to take that route, you should have not cut the 1 on the previous turn and just gone for the Chinitsu. I don't hate that deal because you have to make something happen, but throwing that 1 kind of moves you away from it.
Importantly, though, Brian is still below 30,000 from Zach's perspective, so that's still a good thing.
Well, yeah, but 1,500 adds up, especially if you do it again. We'll see what happens here. A few pairs here for dealer. May just be a Tanya got the 9-9 on the right. Chun pair, but not much else. Can potentially accept a Dora. And with 1 Homba, still needs some sort of value, whether it even be just Sumo Chun Nomi would be good enough across the way. Pinfu hand, medium sort of Sanshku, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7 on the left. Definitely the best hand of the bunch has the Pei Onko. Question is how greedy you want to be with it.
Feels like there's thoughts of greed.
Oh,
The
no,
8.4
no,
coming out
no,
first.
no. You're done. 2 so, yeah, I agree with this. You just float the 4. If you connect to the 9, you just take the Peiko. It's fine.
And no flush greed here. The Dora draw is good.
Yeah, it's not. You don't need it. It's something you always have to consider is how much am I hurting my chance to win by doing something aggressive?
Yeah,
it is a weird Kutsuki with a 4-pin and a 9 so. Not usually the combination you think of. 5, a great fill. Now Ishuntan on the right. Which pair do you want to cut? Cuts the 4-pin. Now has 3 pairs. I think I might have gone with the 5 so, because I just don't want that as my final pair on the door indicator. And we're going to see a slam here waiting on the 3-pin. Might be an Ipatsu deal in here, but I just fold out. Yeah, we'll do so.
One of the fun things for Brendan here is that if someone chases TC and TC deals in, there's a chance.
This may be a deal in because of the Furry 10, but no, we'll keep the shape. Should just be Tumon, can continue moving the hand. Don't have to throw any dangerous yet. We'll throw the 3, so that is a push.
リーチ
And there's a Ricci across the way. That is a Ricci, Pinfu, Tanya, Dora on 2-5, I believe.
At least Ricci, Tanya, Dora.
Let's see. Oh, it's a 4-7 Nobeton.
And that is possibly the best case scenario for Brendan here.
Yeah, that's just there's no Pinfu in there. You expect it to be Pinfu, but it's not.
Although somehow Brendan is Ishantan?
Oh, it feels really bad you draw the Dora there in that Ricci situation.
Yeah.
This 9 can be held. You can cut the 3-so here if you want, but it's just a really scary top. But it is Suji. I'd cut the 3-so and hedge my Itsu.
Yeah, the 3-so passed against the first Ricci already, and then the second Ricci, it became Suji too, so I think it's totally fine to jam.
相撲
There's the 3. Sumo, reach, Sumo, pay. And this is extra foo regardless, but hits the
Oh.
aura, so it doesn't matter. Going to be a Mongon. Big pickup there, but not going to be enough to overtake Brendan, who will win the game here with 32.3. The big win for TC there gets 16. In third place, going to be Brian at that minus 8.5. And in last, Zach got a little close on some of those hands, but just couldn't put any of it together. Minus 39.8.
Well, 2 games in the books, 2 wins for Brendan, off to a good start in the C1A division.
All right. Well, I think we're going to switch to another game. I think B1 is the next table. Get that set up in a bit. That'll be Mark, Kate, Noel, and Binyi.
That is a fun table to watch.
They should be starting any second, so hold on with us getting things set up.
Yeah, both Kate and Noel playing in the WRC, qualify for WRC in the Summer World Ricci Championship in Tokyo. Bingi and Mark also having had excellent seasons in the past. And we are into the games. It'll take me a moment to adjust everything else.
Yeah, you might see a pause when everything gets refreshed, but we'll take a look at it for now. This looks like a dealer, kind of a messy hand, 5-6, 4-5-6 Sanchiku. On the right, we have a south pair, maybe just call and go. Don't really need value. Across the way, slow Pinfu hand, and on the left, slow Pinfu hand. So, the backfire on the 9, but there's nothing you do about that. That's just going to happen. West pair up across the way. That can be called now. There's just no value regardless. So you're going Shaw Nomi is probably fine. Forces a great fill there. Completes the 3-4-5. Imagine you just cut an honor. And there's the pause. We did warn you about it.
リーチ
And that's just Tempai. It's an easy slam. And yeah, there it is. There is one West out, so it's not as good as it would be otherwise. But it's Sevenmon Shaw, where Shaw is Yakuhai, otherwise Ricci Nomi. There's 1-7 in a hand and 1 in the wall, so 2 outs in the wall right now. 4 connects nicely. There's no Ishanten on the right. And speaking of Tempai, on the left, the 5, the perfect fill. Ricci Pinfu. Oh, and there's a Dora. Well, I think you're just out after that draw.
Surprisingly,
There's a Ricci Pinfu possible Dora.
yeah, Dora was super live at the walls in that draw. Still 3 left in there.
And the thing is, you can just draw the Dora pair up, and then you just fight this. You don't even think about anything else. 5, I mean, you just cut the 1-3. Yeah, it goes with the 3, which makes sense.
Gambutsu, Wenzo also relatively safe here.
Yeah, 1 so almost never deals in.
Only to a Tonki.
Punky on the left specifically.
Yeah, on the
Or
left
our
only.
left, across from you at the time. East, though, doesn't feel great, but I'd shove it. And there it goes. There's the 2.
Don't.
There's the deal. And on the door, Ricci Pinfu Dora. No Aura will be 3,900 and the Ricci sticks. And a pickup there for Binyi. This is going to be Kate. Does a pretty good starting in here. 6-pin would really help for each pin Futanio, maybe in a 4-5-6 Sanjuku. On the right, East pair, maybe an Itsu in Sozu. Across Lake Chun pair, and may just be a call and go. Can accept a Dora as well. Maybe a Chanta type route, but we'll have to make a decision on that later. 7, 8, 9 Sanjuku would be amazing with this hand. On the left, slow Pinfu hand, but maybe you draw like 3 so, then you can see a route for value.
홈,
Kun pawned across the way. That is not Ishan 10.
홈,
The shapes are really annoying to use in the Monzu. East called on the right. That hand is Ishan 10. Has the overlap on the 6 with a 4, 5, 7, 8 in Monzu.
It could have.
Dora pair up across the way. I mean, you just use that as an Arianman cutting the 7 so here. Could also go 9 Mon or 1 Mon. Same concept.
And well committed to this overlapping Mon shape.
Oh, that's frustrating, because now the Dora is almost always coming out. 6, I think this is bad enough. I might even chi that. I hate shapes like this. But Kate is definitely someone who will greed if given any option.
Oh, absolutely. We'll always look for the Ricci.
지,
3, that is Tempai. I imagine the 7 comes out waiting 6, 9. This is a chi cut Dora for Tempai,
Chi.
probably. It is Fuji to the open hand, so yeah, I can deal him, but at the same time, it's fine. And there's our Tempai for dealer waiting on
Ricci.
3-pin. Ricci Tanyao.
Little to do here but jam if you're Noel.
Yeah, you've kind of forced yourself at this point. Oh, there's the
No.
9. Deals in. We'll just be the East. We'll shut the dealer down and get the stick as well. So, nice little pick up there for Noel. Still in last place, but it's super close, and we'll be dealer here in East 3.
I'm kind of expecting to see this the entire series. Just Kate and Noel going blow for blow in terms of the aggression. And Mark and Bingy just like surviving one way or
Trying
another.
to snipe, get something out of there. Yeah, that's kind of how I'd view this table as well. But Noel's a pretty good starting here. Maybe a Ricci Tanyao. That 8's kind of interesting because there's a 5, 6, 7 Sanjuku you really
Home.
want to keep, but at the same time you have to hold it for now. Trying to see the south call
Home.
on the right. The Chun call across. You have the double penchon though, not ideal. And on the left,
강,
pretty good Ricci Pinfu hand. Oh, there's our Khan into the east now being the new Dora.
No one has
No
any
one
East.
has an east. Yeah, it's worthless right now. Could call this 2, so if you think you're way behind, but I think the pass is fine. And rewarded heavily for passing. It's the best tile possible for that hand.
I don't even mind cutting the two so preemptively there, although this ends up being much better.
Ooh, do you cut 4 so, or do you cut one of the overlaps in Monzu? We'll cut the 4, 3 here. Cuts it down to 5 block, looking for the 6, 7, 8 Sanjuku from this ultimately. 3 so extends the Sozu shape. We'll go in and cut the north. Was hoping for Doratanki, but we'll just take the shape. Do you ever cut 5 Mon there?
Yes.
I would cut 5 Mon there. The problem is Pei is dead now. So at that point, you really can't.
Yeah, definitely
Was
trying
definitely
to play
hoping
for
to go
it.
for this tonight. Well, that's just a pawn. Now Ishan 10 across the way. Possible Toy upgrade.
홈,
Oh,
Oh,
Toy Force.
Oh, for Toy. When if this 9-pin comes out, we might just see a Daiminkan with how this table's been playing. 2-pin and upgrades the shape. And you have a Kutsuki. Double floater 1 away.
Got 4 pin, 3 so,
Home.
6 so. Anything around those tiles will get Tempai. That's not one of them.
And that's a pawn for I'm way behind. That is what that call is. That is
Yeah.
I gotta make something happen because I'm way behind. There's
East.
Dora, comes out just right there. This is Tempai now on the right. Which Shampod or
Shabo.
Kanchan? I think you have to go Shampod here, right? Yeah.
2 pin looks better than 3 pin that's come out twice.
Well, plus you also get extra foo from it, if nothing else. The 9-pin looks amazing, though.
Yeah, 16, 24.
You see that 8 come out? If it does, I imagine it gets pulled, and then we get to see some real fireworks.
홈,
8 so out.
Oh, no, waiting on the 9. It's just never coming.
It looks so
This is
good.
Tempai for dealer, can cut the last 8. You know it's not dealing into that. Waiting Otozuke 6-pin. The 9 is dead.
What could get him off this weight? I guess a east draw?
Yeah, I think I'd have to get off of this if I drew the East at this point. This is a question. You cut the 4 here, or do you just throw the 3 back?
Who probably isn't going to matter here, but
There's a 6. It's going to deal into dealer, and dealer shuts down all of this. And a Tanya will end it all.
that was a wild hand. We didn't get
I'm
to
just
see...
disappointed we didn't get to see the 9-pin at Diamond Con.
Maybe
That's what
this
I
round.
wanted.
Maybe this round.
All right. Well, Noel, going to be dealer here again after that repeat. Has a cheap but relatively quick hand for Richinomi on the right. Pinfu hand, maybe a 68 or 79 Sanchigu. Has a Dora across the way. Nice shape in Manzu. Pins are okay. Okay, that 7-so makes his hand a lot better. Now it's looking towards a Ricci Dora 1. On the left, that's definitely a great draw with the 6. Is that Ishunten? Yes, it is. Probably not much value, though. Does have a Dora, though. Ricci Dora 1 acceptable, and if you get that 3-so, you can go Pinfu on the 1-4. Problem is, 3 of the 1s already accounted for.
Yeah, I might choose not to take that. East pickup is great, though, for Mark. Can use a Dora. Curious to see if he'll open up
Boom.
for Tempai.
Well, there it is, and there's the pawn. Tempai waiting on 5-so, 8-so. 8-so is Dora.
It's not
This
that...
is extra foo would be 1 Han 40 or 2 Han 40.
Also can Diamond Con, as previously mentioned.
On the 9-pin, yeah, specifically, that was my request. 5 fits in nicely to that hand on the right, but the 8 may come out. There's our Ricci on the 4. This is a Ricci Pinfu Dora 1. Gets the perfect draw here after some shifting in the Manzu. And a third pay. This is now Ishunten as well. We'll just shove the Suji 7. That'll be Chi down. There's the 5. Shuts this down. Told Nomi 400, 700 says, give me that stick. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, and I was going to comment earlier that some players would pass the first East to try to aim for the Ricci from that Ishan 10, but at this table, it feels like if you are not getting Tempai in the first 7 discards, you are just too slow, so...
All right, well, this is going to be Binyi as dealer here with not a great hand. Just Kanchan's everywhere. On the right, I'm very surprised the 9-pin was cut. I really just want to go Itsu with a hand like this. But
it's
the 9 did go out. Oh, and there's another one. And yeah, just throws it back again. Across the way, that's Ishunten, I believe. Yes, it is. And on the left, similarly possible Itsu. Going to hold the 9 here as a relative safe tile. Oh, and there's the 8, and now I'm very sad.
It's okay, it's okay. It's 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku.
Can get there, but the problem is there's no pair in the hand.
Yeah, it was a little tough to drop the 6-pin Dora. So I think if the 6-pin wasn't the Dora, I probably would have held the 9-pin over the 6-pin.
Binyi fills a shape, and it's long. Well, there's your pair. So do you just cut the 5-6 now? The 6 is Dora, though, so you can't do it. You just got the 7-8. The question is, which 7-8? I think I prefer the... they're about the same.
Yeah, they're about the same. Kind of maybe liking the fact that a player's dropped a 9-mon and one of the players dropped an 8-mon, so thinks the 9-mon will be good later.
Right, and the 9, of course, being dealer, there's a potential Gimbutsu snipe off of dealer if you end up head-to-head. Someone says, what do I throw? Well, one's safe against dealer and one's not. But there's the... Well, okay, there you go. There's your Tempai. Waiting on 6-9-mon for Ricci Pinfu Dora 2. And that's a chase. And that is Ricci Pinfu Dora 1 on 1-4-pin. We see 2 of those out. There's what, 1-1 and 2 4s? Oh, and there's another chase. There's the 6. Deals in. Ricci Pinfu Dora 2. That is Mungon. Or it doesn't matter, but Mark comes out of nowhere and has 40,000 points sitting here in South 1.
It's just hand after hand, everyone getting Tempai on the exact same turn, and they're all just going at it.
Well, the bonus point of that is if everyone's Tempai and everyone's reaching, whoever wins gets a bunch of sticks off of it, too. Something a lot of people tend to forget in these situations is the Ricci is a bet. It does cost you 1,000, and those do add up. But dealer here is Mark with a Pinfu type hand. He's a 2-pin and a 4-pin. Possible 5, 6, 7 Sanjaku on the right. Pinfu hand, maybe a Tanyao if you got the 1-pin, but now the 1 pairs up, so much for that plan. Across the way, Pinfu, maybe a Tanyao, similarly if you cut the 9-9, but I think it's just 6, 7, 8 Sanjaku is your hope. And on the left, that is by far the best hand. Super wide Ishan 10 with a potential Rishi Pinfu Tanyao Dora.
Yeah, your weight's going to be good basically no matter what you draw.
I think it's guaranteed to be good weight.
Definitely guaranteed good weight. Some weights are going to be
sad
better than
you draw
others.
9, so that's really the only tile you're sad about, but anything else is good.
Even then,
Even if
Richi
you pair up
Pinfu
the
with
3
Dora
or
chance is
4,
still good.
yeah. Speaking of Dora, 1 drawn across should be 8-9. That is not Tempai. Thrown back. 7-1. Well, you feel bad, and they're going to have the classic 7, 8, 9 in the pond.
Gee, who knew the Penchant was better than the Yaman?
Mahjong did, because it's always that way, isn't it?
It's just proving a point now.
Continues suffering.
Jeez.
There's a pair up. That's your Tempai. Richi, Tanya, possible Dora. I just go 1-so here. Can go with the 3s. They're reasonably safe with the 5-2, but no, just folds out.
Yeah, decides with a once cut east, just betting on that's too far away and just wants to stay away from the danger here from first place.
The other part is there is 1 east already out, so it'd just be a hell weight. But I think if you're going to do this, you just don't call in the first place.
I think we are going to see
Tempai for no Yaku.
Noel try to fight here.
And as I mentioned, no Yaku.
Naka City 5.
And now the 1 comes out. Hilariously could have conned into a possible Furitan Rinshot. That would be my clip of the day if it were.
That would have been insanity. A lot of Binyi's weight is being held right now. There's another one, so only 1 tile left on the wall, and it's a Dora. Could call for Tempai, but I don't think you want to jam a 3-mon against this Ricci.
Well, there's the 2. That's the end of this hand.
At least
Question is,
from
can
Binyi's
anyone else get
perspective.
in here?
Oh my goodness, there's 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9.
I'd shove the 8. Yeah, goes with it. And dealer might sneak back in. The 8 is safe.
There's a route for Noel to fight. Connecting to the extra 3.
Trying to poke and prod and find some way back in. But that's not it, and that's not it. And that is it, though. Shove the 3. That is Tempai, 6-9. And then wins on the Hote. It's 2 Dora. That's what are you kidding me?
The 9-so just cleared. It just cleared. And Kate couldn't reach you because in this league you can't reach you without a straw left.
Oof. Well, it talked about the other 2 players at the table trying to be snipers. That one counts for sure. But the dealer here is going to be Kate. Has the east pair. Might even go Honetsu here. Great shape in Pinzu. Has the 2-3 so may end up passing. Okay, yeah, that looks like a Honetsu play. On the right, ooh, that 6-pin's a great draw. Now Ishan 10 for possibly Peiko Dora 2. Might even Dama, but kind of needs some points. Across the way. Few pairs. It just feels like a Ricci +1 type hand. You're looking for any value. Maybe shift to Sananko. On the left, though, there's a Haku pair, and that may just be call and go as well, especially in first place. There's our Tempai. There's our Ricci. Can Ricci basically anything here? It's the 1 or the 4. I definitely Ricci the 4. Make yourself look Cheetoy. And that does look very Cheetoy.
Oh, 3-4.
Oh, no!
This is one of the reasons you reach the 4, by the way, is that so that player is just full.
Yeah, now you see 3 of them, and you say the 3 doesn't look that bad unless it's Cheetoy, but I'm not 100% sure because it's so early. I have so little information. This is the type of thing I will have. Oh, just draw yourself. Easy game. Reach, Sumo, Ipeiko Dora 2, or a Hanemon, And Noel comes from nowhere and is now back in great position in strong second place. And Kate taking the brunt of this, deeply fourth, the only 30K.
Wow.
Oh, and just wake up with this hand. Can I order whatever this is?
I feel like there's a group of players that would dom on that last hand just because it's 3 Han, bad weight, 52, and you can upgrade into a Shabo weight for the Hatsu play. But
At the same time, just Ricci.
yeah, that we've seen just Ricci kind of pan out over and over again today.
All right, well,
something
Tune,
just
Dora 2,
simple.
possible Dora 3 here has all these 4-7, so you know it's going to ruin multiple hands. No Ishan 10. Possible Sun Anko even. On the right, maybe could have gone Kokushi with this. I don't like the 1-mon cut. I kind of want to greed for a little something fancy. Maybe it's be going Chito or even Honroto now. Across the way, Kinfu, Tanyao, maybe a 678 Sanshoku, maybe an Ipeiko. Looking for a Dora as well. On the left, looks like 123 Sanshoku. We'll have to draw the 1-pin for it. Well, that's just Ishan. It doesn't take it, though. Keeps the old shapes as they were. Didn't want the Chi Toy. Not really playing for the Suanko. Just wants the value here. Seems reasonable.
Waiting game for dealer Tempai. Very wide Ishan 10. And the Chun is going to be sucked up by Bingi for quite a while, I feel.
Yeah. Oh, there is Ishunten on the left. Now, you can actually cut the 1-3 if you don't want to cut the 6. And we'll do so. Ugh.
It's a thought. It's not a comfy thought.
Yeah, I think Bingi's just going for Honroto, which is a really hard Yaku to pull off. Backfire there for Noel, but it was the right play at the time. Going to see the Chi here. The problem is that last 9 is out, so this pair is locked. Must get the 9-mon now.
Yeah, if you knew you were going to get the 8 so, you probably would have pulled, but you didn't have that knowledge.
Now you have Tempai across the way for Tanyodor 1, 7-mon, 8-mon, and dealer's going to deal into this if a 5-8's drawn.
Definitely spells trouble for Noel.
And this is going to be Ricci and a deal in. I don't see how else this gets played.
Tanya thoughts?
Ricci.
No.
Dong.
Again, not with how this table's been going.
Yeah, this makes the most sense.
2000, real close race for second now. But dealer here has a Hatsu pair. And this is Binyi. Dreams of Daisangem, but they just look like dreams here. Passes the 1-mon. I disagree with that. I just go for this. Really wants this Dorotonki, but at the same time, I just feel that's the easier route to the Dorotonki. Toy even potential here. On the right, the 4-so connection to the 2-2. Few pairs, not an ideal shape. You have the 9-pin Doro, so maybe even Chi-Toy. Across the way, South pair, but needs value. Of course, any 1 Han Sumo would be enough to knock Bini under 30K, so that may be the goal here. But at the same time, this is Kate. I imagine Kate's just building for Hanemon. On the left, that is a Tanya type hand, and we'll just try and call this down, move this along. Now, Ishunten for Taninomi. Hatsu Anko now for Binyi. Ishunten needs 8-pin and 4-7-so.
And the 8-pin will come out from the left if drawn. Noel Ishantem.
Well, I think that 4-so is just coming out almost regardless. 2 will come out first, though, of course. 8 doesn't do anything. Oh, that's a second Dora, so you just cut the Haku here. Cuts the 7, locks this in. I don't think I like this. I just want the wider acceptance at this point. Yeah, this is a Sananko Dora 3 potential. There's a way to pull it a little more easily, but at the same time, there's only 1 9 left. And the problem is there are 2 8s already out, so didn't really think much of the Kanchan.
In the meantime, Kate importantly pulled in the south for the self-drawn Anko.
With a Sanshoku Ishanten. And yeah, cannot call this. There was a potential Sanshoku south, but needs the value. This is Tempai on the left, waiting 5-8, so I imagine the 4 comes and it gets G'd. There it is. There it is. And there we go.
Oh, the 1.
And the 1's going to deal in. And you go, wait, what? You just need a 4-5-6. Are you kidding me?
If anything, it looks like a Sozu flush.
And just deals in for 77, and surprise, But the winner, there's going to be Binny now in a clear first place, 38,100. Mark now drops to a tie with Noel, and Kate's still quite a bit back.
Well, that's a drastic swing, and Kate's got a fast hand, but I don't know if it's got the value. Maybe 4, 5, 6 Sancho was the play. Noel Pom now into Dion Shantam.
Yeah, very floater heavy here, but basically any Pinzu helps. Literally any Pinzu tile helps that hand.
And that's a
But
hand.
here's Binyi with maybe a Tanya. You have that one mon pair you're not thrilled with. You really want to call a hand like this with this 4, 6, 6, 8. Also possible cheat toy. That 8 pin is a great shape. That's now Kutski on the 2 and the 5. On the right, now I have a pair of the 2, so can't just go Tanya here as well. We'll lock that in with the 1. It's 4 pair across the way. That is now Tempai, I believe, but not Reachid.
Wants the 5,
Wants
so
the Sanshoku or some sort of upgrade here. Is there an upgrade? I don't see one.
yeah, really it's just the Sanshoku.
Yeah, it goes in and shifts this down. Cut into 4, so now just waiting on the 3. Not that 3. There's Tempai on the 3 pin.
Just Haku Honitsu.
Of course, the Sumo would be extra Fu, and I believe first place.
Mark, ooh, he's playing for it. Cuts the 1 pin.
There's Tempai. This is a 4-10 4-5 weight.
Sumo.
And there's the Sumo on the 4-10. Get the Sanshoku. Wow. And the Ura. What a pull there. Kate going crazy and getting the perfect tile on the 4-10. And still going to be 4th, but what a collapse. And the big winner off this is Binyi, who takes away a coppery, but still ends up netting points off of it. With the Uma bonus, gets a 24 place first, and now a tie for second place between Noel and Mark with minus 0.5. It's actually going to be minus 3 because you do average them. So minus 3, minus 3. And Kate there off that win on the end not only gets the Sumo for the Mongon, but pulls others under, so only takes the minus 15 from the Uma and then the minus 3, so a combined minus 18. Crazy game.
Yeah, absolutely bonkers. That's what I expected from this table, though. I'm glad we picked this one to watch. It had everything we're looking for, and the absolute greed from Kate to aim for the 5. So to see the pawn and the 5s come out, can't roll on it because you're 50-10, and then just draw it. Incredible timing.
So I think we've learned 2 things here: just Ricci, just Sumo.
Sounds like.
The thing is, Kate actually did a little bit more work in that hand because we were both like, yeah, we'll just take the Ricci Nomi. And Kate said, no, there's a Sanchko here. Yeah, it'll be 4-10, but I think I can get it. I just drew every single tile into it.
All right. Well, that was their game 2. I think they're probably only playing 2 for the day.
Yeah, I don't see any games coming up. Everything's kind of late here. There's an A2 table, which is pretty interesting,
We could catch the
but
end
maybe we
of
could
that.
just catch the end of them. That is Tucker, Claire, Will, and Joe.
Those are some well-known names.
When I think of all 4 of them, they're like all completely different play styles.
Yeah, I'm scared to see what the scores are going to be when we hop into this game. This is A2.
This game's been going for a while. We have no idea where it is. But
Yeah.
it started according to this 22 minutes ago. So maybe in South round already. South 2. And we see here a South that is dealer, that is Claire, in a deep 4th hole here at 9,500. This is a South Dora 1 waiting 8 mon 2 pin. On the right, that is Will in a strong first place here. Across the way, that is Joe in a solid second place here with a Dora and a Chun. And on the left, that is Tucker in the 3rd place with a Pay and nothing else. Oh, there's the 8.
Boom.
Deals into dealer, and that's going to be 2 Han. And Claire make a comeback here. This is how you have to start.
Looks like Will has popped off here in the early portion of the season. Did as well in the last season. But did not manage to get the promotion back into A1.
Now, we can see from the standings, Tucker has been doing very well so far this season. Top of the division, 3-1-0-1. But Tucker and Claire kind of eating it in this game. Though Claire did win that last hand. Try and close this back up. Has a Dora. Kind of Pinfu hand. 8-pin would help. 3-pin would help on the right. Tanya type hand. 6 so would help. 6 Mon would help. 4 Mon would help across the way. Pinfu Tanyao. 4 Sanshiko if you get the right draws, but it's a long way away. On the left, Hatsu pair. Maybe call and go, but at the same time, I want to go Honitsu with that.
Yeah, it looks
Especially
like
when you have a non-wind Dora. Because if you draw one, you just want any excuse to use it. But no, just takes the straightforward route. Wants to call this down, get this hand over with, get 4th place, his dealer turn over with.
looks like in the first game of the series, Tucker, the only player over 30k, finished with a plus 43.3, and that is how they became the top player in the division.
Dealer now Ishan 10.
It's a rough
Still has
one.
the ugly Penchon Kanchan, though.
Boom.
There's the Hatsu Ken Pon 10. We'll go ahead and Pon, and in fact, take Tempai. There's the ace, the hit there for Claire. I would agree to this because I hate the shapes this much. But as a result, still has that Ishan 10. Oh, now just Tempai. You just
Each.
slam this. Your dealer. You don't care. So it is a 3-pin with 2 left against an 8-pin with 3 left.
Chi.
But Tucker is known as a resident coward, so may just fold immediately anyway.
It has the same
Has been
play
trying
style.
to adjust the play style to get a little more aggressive, though. This is a dealer Ricci with perks you're fighting. Oh, and there's the 2. And Joe says, I'll do your work for you then.
Yeah, Tucker with the same play style as myself, essentially.
All right, that looks like a pretty good hand for Claire. There's no value, but speaking of value, we see 2 Dora here for Will. The rest of the hand isn't that great. 7 so would really help. 4 Physics Sanchi goes a long way away. What do you think you can get on the right? I don't know, Junchan, Ipeiko. There are a few routes you can go with that. Across the lake Chun pair. Maybe you just call and go, especially without Tucker played the last hand. Maybe just try and shut this down immediately. And on the left, Claire with a fast but cheap hand. 5-pin would really help. And with that 7-mon cut, this feels like a I'm going Honitsu. I don't care. It's the Dora suit. I'll figure out something later.
Boom.
Chun Pol, now Ishan 10. Tucker in great shape here. Needs the 1-4-7 Mon and the 2-5 So to win the hand. There's the ease. Does not con it. Yeah, Claire can't really con this, though.
No, just gotta have
Wanted to
value.
hedge towards the Pinzu Honitsu, but the draws just aren't going there.
Hand is pretty miserable. I'm not feeling too optimistic. I'm kind of hoping that Will hits somebody else, and then I could try again in the next hand.
Well, you saw the 2-so, and I know what popped into your mind when the 2-so was drawn.
I'm glad Claire's holding it. 2-3-4, always a good Sanchoku to aim for.
And I see a whole bunch of pin tiles there in Joe's hand. That's a hand that's not scary yet, but this is Joe. It may only take 2 or 3 turns. And it gets terrifying. Like stay in 7-pin draw.
This is
I think
Joe.
he cuts 9-mon here.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just going to go for this. He is definitely the type of person who will just go.
I feel like most people would be like, "Oh, this is a pretty good Ishan 10." Joe's like, "How
That's
is
easy
this
chi. I would 100%
Chi.
chi that. It fixes your worst shape. You just cut the 8s. It's great. Tucker really doesn't know how dangerous you are, although he kind of suspects something at this point.
The thing is, Joe is well known to force value out of hands that don't really have any, and
Well, this
so you
hand
never know how close
qualifies.
he is.
Chi.
There
the
is
Tempai.
Tempai. You have to take it, waiting on 2-5 so. Of course, if Will knew this is what was happening, immediately would throw the 2 so. Wouldn't even think about it. And there's Tempai. And this is confirmed Itsu, Chin Itsu, Dora, possible Dora 2. This could be Baimon on the 9-pin, but there's only one left.
Headless so
Chi.
far. Now gets that Tonki Tempai. It's still a Tempai.
It is still Tempai. Thinks the 7's good, but the 7's dead.
1
No, this is not confirmed. It's a
Wrong.
3-6. There's the 5. Gonna shut this down. And Tucker says, thank you. I imagine there was definitely a breath of relief.
Now, Will fearing the Oyakabidi Sumo there now no longer has to worry about that.
And we're just in all last here. Joe is dealer. Has a door here. Pinfu hand. Nothing fancy. Double south there for Tucker. May just call this down. Doesn't really see any value routes. Maybe Honitsu, but even Manga doesn't get you the 30k. Across the way, Pinfu hand with a door. Reach Pinfu Dora. A Sumo and an Aura would not be enough. Actually, you need one home buff for the Mongon to be enough, or someone else throw a Rishi stick in for you. And on the left, Will has a Pinfu hand, and I'm just going to play regularly for now and see what happens.
Yeah, it feels like Joe had a chance to use the door after drawing the 7 the first tile, but seeing 2 8-mons, gave up on that thought, and it seems to be for the best. There's only one 8-mon left in the wall. Maybe you can start with the 7-mon first, but I'm sure he's thinking about ways to turn this into a callable Tanyao, just to get a dealer reroll.
Possible 3-4 Sanjiku developing there on the left.
本
So if you draw, say, 3-pin, you can cut 7-9. Going to see that double south called by Tucker. Just wants his hand over with. Of course, there's a route to Chanta shift, but missed the 9-pin earlier, and now just Tempai. I imagine this is the 5. Yeah, just wait on the 2.
Still one more
If you
9-pin to
do
draw.
draw the last 9, you can cut the 6, and this is Chanta.
And Claire's got an interesting choice here because Mongon Sumo isn't quite enough to overtake Tucker here. 200 points short.
Yeah, gonna hedge towards the Peiko route. The Peiko Door 2 being probably the best way to manage to pull this off. Reach Sumo, Ipeka. Well, that actually fits really nicely. Now Super Wide Ishan 10.
Decide between the 6-pin immediately or the 3-mon
Yeet.
first.
Yeah, and there's our Tempai on the left. That is Shumpon 1-9. Well, those disgusting weights. But it is 2 Dora, possibly 3 here. And again, we'll see if Tucker is willing to shove the 7. And nope, again, chicken's out. And very on character.
Yeah, this Tempai not.
Oh,
Super
well,
worth it.
do you see? I'm sure you see
See.
it. Do you ever call this and cut maybe 6, 7?
1
That's the 4.
Guess you're
That's
hoping
actually kind of hard to use.
Tucker's back.
I guess. Just didn't want to deal
Chi.
the Ipatsu. There's
Yeah.
a Chi. This is not Tempai. And kills off the Sanshoku route.
What a shame. Losing out on the guaranteed
5
win.
so doesn't feel great, and so it's going to be a fold here. And there's just Tempai waiting on 3-mon.
It's definitely a terrible tile to drop, so Tucker's probably pretty happy they got out.
So another miss.
We're definitely not going to see a
Actually, are we
con.
looking at it? This weight's dead, isn't it? Yeah. Will's weight is dead.
Yep.
Same time, you figure Joe's never folding. That's something Joe is known for, is even just tiles that would cause other people heart attacks will just instantly throw without even really thinking about it. And it's done very well for him. We'll see the switch here to the safe 2, and then it got cleared.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to drop the 6, so nice swap.
9 is safe. Just one more round here.
Where is the East? Oh, Claire dropped it.
Yeah, it's recent. I'd feel fine pushing it. Oh, no, that's a terrible tile. But again, I imagine Joe just... Oh, he folded. That is very uncharacteristic. Joe locking in the second place here. And then sees the very scary hand. But of course, the 4 and the 6 both would have passed. But the end result here is going to be Will gets the huge first. And he needed it here. 44.4. Needs more 4s. Joe in second place with 9.2. Tucker will fall out of first of the division with a minus 16.7. And Claire going to drop down into the negatives, that minus 36.9.
Yeah, all things said, though, it's a very closely contested out of these 4 players. All in the positives or basically 0. Tucker will in the temporary promotion zone after 6 games played in the early goings of the season.
Okay, I am told they are going to do another game, but they are taking a 10-minute break. So we can either wait for them or hang it up here or try and find another game. As far as I can tell, there is no other game other than the table we were at previously.
Yeah, that's a long break.
That's a long break.
We can always do. Let me check. I
You
think
know
I
what?
heard.
Why don't we just go ahead and wait it out? I'm gonna go get a drink. We'll get stuff set up on our end and see you in 5 to 10 minutes then.
Fair enough. I also heard rumors of maybe another commentator wanting to hop in, so we'll see if that happens or not. But yeah, we'll be back in 10 for the continuation of this series. It was a fun South round, at least. Anticipating more fun action from this division. We'll be back in a few. All right, we are back. Game 3 underway now for this A2 table. Players remain the same. Tucker will be our first dealer. On the right, Joe. Across the table, Claire. On the left, Will. We're going to have a commentator swap. Jackie will be joining us in a moment for what should be an exciting conclusion to this A2 series. They are finishing it out tonight, it looks like. Tucker opens up with a really nice looking collection of pin tiles. Potentially Ipeko, Pifu. We'll have to determine what happens with a 1 to 9 so later on. On the right, Joe, similarly with reasonable shapes. Could be Pifu as well over there. Across the table, another Ricci looking hand. A little hard to get Pifu with the weak shapes. Kanchan 357 in particular. 899 pin, a little bit challenging too. Well, on the left, in the north seat, without any of the north door. In fact, no one holding that except for the dealer. And collection of Kanchans over there. So definitely dealer Tucker and the right player Joe with the advantage in the early stage of the hand. Tucker did manage to connect the 2-so to the 1-so. We'll see how long they get to hold on to the door here. Maybe even just dropping it out now. No, we'll greed a little bit longer going with the 2-so, 1-so cut. It becomes a question of how long do we hold it? Even now, greeting the value. In the meantime, progress on the right has been made. 2 away from Tempai for Joe. A lot of connected shapes and good floating tiles as well. This 3-pin can be connected too for a final block. I'm not so convinced that I'm happy with a lot of the bond draws, but 2-pin would also be excellent. In the meantime, Claire across the table might be thinking about 789 Sanchoku. It's got the backbone at least. 6, 7, 8 now a possibility, cutting with a 9, so to hold both the 6 and 9. And you'd really like to draw the Mon shape to completion first to be able to decide more easily. Maybe it's just a tile shift. We'll see.
Dealer Tempai for now decides to Dama yet with the Ipeko.
Welcome, Jackie.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I was just grabbing some coffee and stuff.
We've had 2 more
Maybe
games.
after that was the trap. Not yet. Switches the weight.
It's a little interesting to be moving in the upward direction, but 3 Mon was twice cut, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think there's another upgrade here? I mean, we've already cut the 7 Mon.
Maybe not, but it's just that the value of the hand is not that great. So, and it's late game, so probably just take the 1.5k. I mean 2k. Sorry, take the 2k. Start the next game.
Joe finds Ishanten on the right. Can draw a 5, so 8, so for the best shape. Could also call down for a Tanyo Tempai.
Yeah, but maybe Claire think of a cheat with the Ishanten over there.
Oh, that is a route. I wasn't even thinking about that option for Claire, but she has drawn a number of pairs.
Home.
Okay, Joe let the first one
Going to
pass, but not the
Tempai.
second.
And 8
Don't.
man deals into draw, I think, yeah.
Joe will take the 1,000 points. Funny, he didn't want the 1,000 points. He declined to the first call, which is a little surprising that late in the round, but Joe, if nothing else, is always value seeking, and so not terribly surprising with his playstyle to pass the first.
Yeah. Speak of value seeking, it's a pretty decent hand from Joe. Despite maybe not that great in value, has a lot of speed.
It can easily call the White Dragon, and the shapes are improving now. The 5 Mon draw.
Certainly has. Will might be able to
Home.
go for a Hongyisu on the Manzu here. He might be thinking about it.
Those early cuts definitely feel like he's floating the idea. Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
I
the
don't think
best
he has
tile.
committed.
Chi.
Goes for it.
That's a bit of a surprise. I
that,
thought he would take the 5-7 chi.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
Oh, if you know you're
but yeah,
drawing it,
don't
you might as
worry,
well.
we draw those. We draw those.
Yeah, this is the greed play. 6-pin, 6-pin.
Ooh, yeah, declines the tenpai because his mind is set. He's currently set on the whole to bring his hand to 3900 at least.
Absolutely. Claire also an interesting choice there. Had 9-mon pair, green dragon pair, and chose to cut the green dragons for Pinhu, Richi Pinhu with a Dora. Maybe
Ooh,
can
2 doors
expand.
now.
Yeah, a lot of draws can improve that value as well. 1-mon or 1 so or 4 so for Ipeiko. 5 so for Sancho chance perhaps.
And the last door goes to Tucker. So all of the door are now visible in player's hands.
And Tucker has to be really excited about this Ishantam.
Sorry.
3-mon draw, probably not the most fantastic, so out it goes.
Yeah.
Was probably hoping that with the 6-mon. Oh, hang on a second.
That's the tenpai.
Wait.
リーチ
Also Lychee waits for the Shampoo. Maybe doesn't want to discard the Dora for now.
Yeah, it's interesting. Cutting the door, it's Richi, Pinhu, Dora. 1.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is that for a Pinfu hand is 20 foot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that big of let's say difference of 2 times of the hand. It's rather like a 1.5 hand big, 1.5 times bigger. But the fact that is that like if you sumo on the Dora, that would be huge.
We can see where the Dora are, but Claire's really hoping that it's in the wall somewhere.
Definitely, there's a 9-man sting in the wall though.
Definitely. Will
So
has...
there is a chance of him winning.
Somehow Will has found a Tempai. It's not the flush that he was greeting for.
チ
Oh.
Dealer's...
So nice choice on the 3-man. 4-man would doing too well, despite the hand is not as big. But he was jamming for Hong so you never know.
Yeah, you can tell Tucker doesn't really want to play this war out. But Will if he gets stepped by.
ドン
That's discard the 7. Yeah, like it could have been worse.
This is definitely the cheaper hand.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so we've seen nothing but 1,000 point hands so far. Claire now gets the dealership. Dora Haku.
Yeah. So 2-player has it.
Another player with a really easy way to use it, but obviously pairing it up is fantastic.
Definitely.
Tucker across the table could be able to tonki on it in the future if they draw a 3 so and then a 4 so or 7 so. Claire already has a pair though, and so we'll have a harder time using it as a tonki. Out of these hands though, I kind of like Will's on the right. It has a chance at 6, 7, 8 Sanchoku and Tanyao.
Definitely. Yeah, the Tanyao is looking. Oh yeah, clear discussed the Dora, but Will chooses to keep it for now. Not yet.
After drawing another pair, Tucker says, on second thoughts, I actually think I have Chitoi chances, and so we'll hold on to the White Dragon, and also Will drew one and held on to it. So
We can go for it.
with the Chitoi.
Tucker with the contest. Oh, discuss the Dora for now.
Oh really?
Probably thinking that. Oh, yeah. Probably he wants to calm when he gets tenpai.
Yeah, I guess. Although if I was
チ
if I was Tucker there, the only thing that would stop me from conning is the Chitoi idea. But if I'm playing Chitoi, I want the Dora.
Oh, that was a backfire.
Yeah, sadly, Kansai Chitoi is not a Yaku. Can't use the same pair twice in your Chitoi hand.
No, you can't. Not in this rule set. Meanwhile, Claire has a chance of pinful Tanyao.
缶
Okay, now goes for the
Each.
Kong. Tenpai here. Smoking the Lychee waiting for one soul, two souls all out. One soul in the wall.
The one so is live. Claire can use it though. Wonder if she wants to call and break Ipotsu. The six
Not
pins are
yet.
hard to push
Not
though.
yet.
The weight's kind of bad for Tanya.
Mhm.
Chitoi Tenpai for Will. I feel like he wants to jam here.
Yeah, but the question is what to discard. Okay,
Oh.
decides to fold for now. Yeah, neither 7 so no 3 might look safe. Look like entirely safe, so probably don't want to risk it.
相撲
Oh, and then sumo, the one so sumo.
Look at all this foo.
Ooh, and
It doesn't even need it.
Uradora.
Uda too.
Yeah, there's no need. It could have
Got-
been 60 food, but hey, there's no need. Let's flip the Uradora. That's Ura 2, and boom.
I think it was even up to 70 foo, but it
Dude.
just doesn't matter. Flip the Uda.
Yeah, I think it's 20 plus 32 plus something. Yeah,
Some
plus
ridiculous
8
number.
plus 2. Yeah, it's 70. Sorry, my bad. That suck.
Fantastic win there
Yeah.
for Tucker. Will take the lead over, and it seems as if Will hasn't won anything, even though he's already won 2 hands just because he paid 2,000 there.
Mm-hmm.
As dealer though, 2 away from Tenpai, can use the door at 8, so
Definitely.
Ishanta now bad weights though, bad shapes.
Yeah, but you take those. You take each turn all the time.
Absolutely, as dealer. Speaking of bad shapes, Joe fills one in right now with a 4-pin draw. That is 1 away from Tenpai.
Yeah, probably discuss all the pairs.
Yes.
Yeah, does go for it.
Doesn't really want to drop the Dora. And doesn't see...
Neither would I.
Well, interesting 4-mon cut. That's because the 5 has come out twice.
Yeah.
I'm sure Will is thrilled to have drawn all these pairs.
Mm-hmm.
Could give a back. Okay, maybe 7 so here though. No, just holds the
Wants
pairs.
to lock in the Dora weight.
Chitoi flexibility.
Who needs flexibility when you can just draw those? Like he knows what's coming.
We'll see.
He knows what's coming. Like
There are 2 in the wall. Oh, draws the 5-mon. Even though it was twice cut.
ooh.
Tucker's made decent progress on the right. The shapes look good.
Yeah.
It's about as good as they'll get now. Just needs to complete a couple of them. Joe still Ishantam. There's another pair, so Chitoi
Now the
thoughts.
Ipeco upgrade.
Yes.
And the Ipeco upgrade as well, yeah. Ooh.
We'll throw it
That's
back.
a bit far on the opposite side for Joe, but you probably want to use the Dora anyways.
Yeah, already gave up on the 2-pin as well, so
I mean, like the problem with 2-pin is that he has already discarded 1-pin, so that might be a free 10.
right. And then when you draw the 7-pin, it's the same thing, but you've already dropped the 2-pin, so you'd be 50-10 there too.
Yeah. Yeah, but like it will be a 3-way free 10, but it's just like I think he's not as confident going for a free 10 weight in this early stage of the game, especially when the difference is not as great as others might have thought.
Okay, slightly better Ishanten for Joe. Tucker also probably wants to call for Tenpai, but can't get a tile from Will just yet.
1
Okay,
shouldn't
calling
use-
to Tenpai
Yeah, at this
for
point,
Claire. And Tenpai for Will as well.
looking at the 1-mon, the 1-mon's actually a pretty sneaky weight here.
Yeah, goes for the Champagne and Damas because it's too late in the game.
Probably Haku here. Oh, no, just the 6. Lose some pawn chances for Tenpai.
Mm. So I think it's two-way Tenpai here. Nah. Oh, yeah. Tenpai for draw as well in the last turn.
Wow, just got there.
Yeah.
And the 9 so was safe enough to push.
Yeah, definitely. I think the dealer discarded like say 2 turns before the end. I think it's rather safe. You don't want to discard Dora at that stage. You know, it's not fun doing into a whole table with a Dora.
Absolutely not. Well, dealership remains here for Will. Dora 9 so 9 mon. Relatively standard hands across the table. Claire's already opened up on the left. No pair yet. Headless Ishanten, 3-4 Mon, 7-9 So. Those are the shapes that need to complete. Tucker did manage to pull in a big 7 Mon draw that allows them to use the Dora or just play for Tanya. We'll see what comes first. They can also use the 9 So as a pair, or 9 Mon as a pair now. And Joe is technically Ishanten across the table. Can cut the 8 So here. I wonder if
Goes
he'll...
first. She.
Okay, that's a
Now
Tenpai.
waiting for the Taki Sanso. I mean Saman. Hakunomi. I'm sorry, Katsunomi, sorry. Why am
Naturally,
yeah.
we can shift this to another weight. 2 pins. Okay, not fantastic. Something like Door Tonki would be pretty cool. Oh, I love 2
But
pin
we
here.
can switch. We can switch. Ishanten on the right as well.
Yeah, some value opportunities.
Yeah, there's a chance of E2. Like you want that 5-man.
Absolutely. And also playing for the flexibility of using the 6-9 Mon as your
Each.
final weight. Ooh, but there's the Ipeco draw.
Yep, so the
Chi.
Lychee on the white swing then 2
Oh,
man.
disgusting!
Oh,
Tucker breaks the
two man
Ipatsu, waits on the
all
Genbutsu 5 Mon.
Ooh.
Each.
The problem
Okay,
is
now
Joe's
the
holding the
chase
5s.
on Drowser. Now what to do, Claire? The
Pick the right Tonki. That's the way to
also
get
Claire.
out.
Yeah, I mean two stakes, you take those.
Absolutely. And look how close the scores are for second place.
Yeah.
So big opportunity for both Will and Joe. Goes to the wayside. Claire snipes it away.
I think anyone has a chance here. Like the fourth place is at 28,000 points.
Yeah, it's basically a Tompsam. We're in the south round now, and things are very close. Really thinking it says, nah, I just can't do it. The west and the north pairs, both not Yakuhai pairs.
Yeah.
It's actually really difficult to
Surely,
play.
I mean, just grind home E2. Just grind it.
Or?
Oh, each hunter now? Oh, this sucks the west instead.
West was only
Yeah.
once cut, so I was a little surprised.
But the thing is that the flexibility that 5 Soul and 3-man offers, as in fact outweighs the West cut West win. I think that's the mentality over there.
Yeah. Because if you hold the west pair, you have to sacrifice either the 5 So or the 3 Mon. Both are very good floating tiles. So there's some sense in this.
Really. Whereas we look at the dealer, it's a really good Ishanten with definitely a lot of chance for Tan Yao and Dora acceptance as well.
Ooh, that's not the
And
tempo we
Piper
wanted.
dealer, Not what we want. Ooh. Probably 1 month. Discard. Oh, should just to discard the Dora.
Mm,
No Pong.
it goes through. Interesting. You could go 4-pin there.
Yeah, you get pinful as well in that case,
Yeah, a lot of times.
and you're not able to count the 2-pin anyway. It's out already.
Uh,
Yeah, the Shampoo Tenpai.
might take it
Could have
even
been a
if.
3-way wait. Could have been less. Oh,
Reach.
never mind. 2-pins out.
Okay, reaching here because it's a Nakasuji trap.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I wonder how the rest of the table respond though. Claire is Ishantam. Has the safe 1-mon to start. West should be pretty safe.
Oh.
Oh, Patsumo!
Oh, you put 2.
Suji trapped the wall. Ura 2!
Oh,
What
that's
is...
blowing the game wide open.
That's why you don't take the 2-mon Richi. It's because the 2-mon is the Ura indicator.
Yeah. He knows those. He probably knows. That's the Toki moment for you, and he gets a really good hand in the repeat as well. The
Alright.
East Wind's gonna come out.
Surely. And then the Hatsu is the door indicator, so
That's
it's fine
out.
for others to use.
Yeah, I mean, you get the East Wind, you're probably satisfied.
Absolutely.
You can use Hatsu as a pair.
Yeah, the issue though is Joe's really fast on the right. Has too many diamond shapes. 6-7 mon,
Mhm.
3-4 pin, 3-4 so. One of those needs to turn to a pair. Or just cuts the 4-3. Is that a flush?
It might well be. Like East Wind might should have come out if
Gee.
he's just aiming for the regular pinful shape.
Yeah, I think I would just cut the east and hedge everything, but
I
Joe's
mean,
committed.
even if you're
He's...
aiming, yeah, even if you're aiming for hands that Hong into, East Wind has no use. So unless you're keeping it as like a safe tail or something, which you probably don't need in your fourth place.
Although at this point in the game, I would say it's basically tied for a second.
Yeah, fair enough. But like, oh yeah, the first door appears.
Oh, it just throws it back. I'm okay
Yeah, I mean
with...
he's aiming for a quick win. You know, just throws it back, making sure that no one else gets it.
Yeah, I'd be a little worried that
Before the
Joe
respect.
already has a pair with this early call, but maybe you think that Joe's making this call because he has one Dora and wants
Gee.
Tonki on it at the end of this journey, and so you throw it out immediately to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, as you can see, clear just smoke release as well, given that he already knows that it's already been out. So I think it's mission accomplished.
Yeah, definitely. Still a few tiles away, or 2 tiles away, I guess, for Joe.
Mm-hmm.
But Tenpai all ready for Tucker.
Yeah.
I guess you can't call the Green Dragon anymore.
You can and go for Tanky, but you probably wouldn't want to do that. Like,
yeah.
again, you want to aim for a quick game. Just want to take the win, 1800, take it. Homa 2. I think that's more beneficial as to, let's say, just trying to get a trivial 1 high increase.
Sumo.
Oh, and the sumo. Just casually gets it.
Perfect. So 600 all. Tucker will extend the lead. This is kind of how game 1 went for Tucker. And wow. Oh.
Wow. Ooh.
I'm scanning. I see Wenchun across the table.
Same here.
There's time.
And the Hakus are available, so it's gonna come out.
Joe might have thoughts of Kokushi.
How many terminal tiles he has? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Probably he should go for like. I mean,
Oh!
the tiles. Oh!
Okay, hold your horses,
Wait.
everybody. We missed all the
Wait.
Daisangans last season, but we might have a chance.
Wait.
There's Haku.
Okay, that's what I'll see.
We need a pair also.
Yeah, I mean neither Hatsu nor Chun has been in other players' hands. Chun is one card and Hatsu is non-card. So it really depends on if the Chun is in the dead wall or not. And
Absolutely.
even if let's say he doesn't make the death Sengen, it can still be a really big hand that's with the Hongitsu with the Shou Sengen. If that Sengen doesn't materialize. Clear might be smelling something.
Oof.
Okay, this has not to Ishanten.
You're right about the Honitsu. Honitsu
Yeah, I don't.
Shosangen is still Hanuman. Like, that's another 18,000 points.
Yeah. The problem is that, okay, now if you, let's say, pawn one of the dragons into Tenpai, would you be aiming for the Daisengen if you have the chance? Or, like, would you just take a quick win and go?
Right. Like, for example, if the 6-0 comes out, you could pull him to try to guarantee Daisangen chance.
I mean, your dealer, your hand is big enough. You have a healthy lead. And it's A2.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Well,
Wow.
we're going to have a choice now before the Dragons comes out. I guess you could take the Entotsue.
Mm-hmm. Now the 6 is gonna come out from Clear sometime, I think. Might be now.
Still
Not
hanging
yet.
on. Oh!
Ooh.
Daisangen Tenpai! Will the 6-0 come out before the Chun does? Oh, the Chun!
Oh, the tune!
It comes out first!
Ooh! Ooh!
Daisangen for Tucker! 48,000 point dealer Yakuman! I
That's
didn't think it was gonna happen. We saw the
Absolute
6-0.
cinema.
It didn't fit.
Absolute cinema.
What is this? 103,000 points for Tucker? Where did this come
Holy
from?
wow. It comes from absolutely, like, maybe taking the chances when it arrives, you know? And the Tsubogiri Chun.
Yeah, that was incredible. This is what we get. Every single time Jackie joins the commentary, something crazy happens. Every single time.
I don't know. Is that a rule? Is that a rule or what? Like, I don't know what's happening.
The statistics, it's just mathematically a rule at this point. And Tucker's
Yeah.
already Ishanten, by
But
the
how-
way.
Oh, wait. Again? Not again. This is
Come.
not ending.
Joe will try to stop it.
Ending.
Joe will try to stop it. Hatsupom. 2 away from Tenpai.
Yep.
That's an improvement.
Oh, it is.
Usually players will cut the 9 before the 1-so here to try to use the Dora. Tucker has other ideas.
Yeah. Again, maybe Tucker's just thinking, you know, take a quick win, go.
Yeah, just like pepper in some 1,000, 2,000 point wins
I mean,
in between your
he's
Yakumans.
winning enough. He's winning enough.
Give some points back. Never mind. Here's a
Okay.
Ricci.
Okay.
Dama?
Oh,
What is this Dama?
probably waiting for the I don't know. Maybe it's just because the margin is so big.
Maybe it's like, I've taken enough points from this table. I don't want to like accidentally take more.
I wouldn't say being accidentally take more. It's just like he wants to keep the dealership.
リーチ
Okay, we might have to chase here.
Oh, that's not two, but neither for my nor for my other Genbutsu for Will, so it's not coming out.
相撲
Oh, Tsumo said, could have been another Ipatsu. But you take
That would have
it,
been too mean, okay? Tucker's a nice guy. Tucker says, you know what? I don't want to take too much. I don't want to set a record for the number of points won in a Hanchan.
though. Wait, what's the record so far?
I just saw it. I think it's like 100 plus 120.
Definitely 100 plus. Ooh.
Let me check
So-
here.
So currently,
119.
Claire will be
119.
So currently, Currently, Tucker will be grabbing 97, I think. Given that no one else is about 30k.
Yes, 97. So needs about 20,000 more points.
Yeah, probably get it now, you know. Probably will get it.
Could have
No.
gotten it with a Richi Potsumo Pifu Udatu.
Ura 2? You sure?
I mean, the way this game's going, you might as well, right?
I mean, Ura 1 will be already huge.
But denied the Arichi chase, so we'll see what happens this hand. Is it going to be a flush?
It may be, but again, judging by what Tucker tends to do, you see, like this decides to I just discard the 1/2 man because there is overlap with the 3-man weight over there. So again, just wants to keep the dealership going. As long as it's going, he gets the hands.
Very wide Ishantam.
There is.
I haven't even been looking at the other hands. I've just been laser focused on Tucker. On the right, though, there's two Dora. Can shift into a Tanyao, maybe.
Maybe.
Kind of need to pair up like a 7-mon.
Mm-hmm. Let's think about it. This is not to.
Tucker probably not going to get too many tiles from the left because Will's hand also rather slow to get there.
Yeah, but that 3 pins might come out and give 10 pi. Not yet, though.
Let's start with 1-2. Good choices. All these 3 so are just filtering out.
Yeah.
Big 8-mon pickup for Joe on the right. That means he gets to use the 4-mon as a pair.
Mm-hmm.
Could have increased his acceptance potentially by cutting the 3-mon there.
I mean, it depends on what weight you want to lock in.
I feel like you generally want to lock in the Dora as a pair.
Chi.
Definitely, but yeah, with that shit is 10 pi for Tucker, waiting for 3/6 man. That 3 man's gonna be dangerous if that pair.
Oh, the 6-mon comes out first.
Wrong.
Ooh, yeah, you were right. Joe was going to drop the 3-mon almost certainly, but Will got Tempai and slams the Ricci. More points for Tucker.
Tucker's now over 100 points now.
101.5. That is good for the 5th highest score in the league if it should end this way.
We can tell it's not ending this way. He's gonna keep going.
We've got at least 3 more rounds after this one, but who knows how long this dealership continues.
Certainly. It's gonna do his promotion check, but it's a world of good. He's currently 3rd place on plus 64.3 with 3 first places. This top place will pretty much set a tone for his return to A1 or his advancement to A1.
Yeah.
Whereas Will's gonna stop him with that Haku and Chun pair. Nothing else coming out though, but easily pwnable.
It would be a glorious return for Tucker.
It's a return.
Yeah, was in A1 in the very first season that A1 existed.
Yep. Tucker keeps the Chun, maybe thinking about Cheetway, 2 Janten for Cheetway with Dora 2. And keeping the Chun might be able to help him get the Aku high he needs.
Yeah, right now it's looking like more of a Cheetaway here for Tucker.
You get those.
2-4 Sanchoku brewing on the right for Joe. We'll need to find a pair outside the 2 and 4 shapes.
Mm-hmm.
Claire is Tempai. Won't take
Tempai.
Ichi.
Yeah, probably that's because his hand is not as good. For think about improvements, maybe a 7-8 knife satchel crew, something like that along the lines.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you're that far behind. You
There's
need to think about something that minimize damage. Oh, it's coming. Coming.
You can 5-so.
Richi.
Oh, okay, which is 5-so
Oh.
Ricci. Or 9. Yeah, 5-so Ricci.
Yeah. So 2-8 so left in the wall.
I think I'm kind of okay waiting one more turn because we still have 5-pin and 8-pin draws for Ipeko at least.
Hmm. I mean, clear knows better.
Yeah, we've seen all day today that just slamming the Ricci has been profitable.
Statistically, it is, but sometimes it doesn't work out. But now Ishanten cheat way for the dealer. What will he discard?
East first, but I think the 8-so will come out if Tucker draws 1 mon or 4 mon because you can see at least 3 of the 9-so, so it's a little tricky. Claire to be
It
waiting
sure
on.
is. It sure is. Plus 1 4-man are tiles near the door. So if you're doing with those tiles, you're probably getting something like a door one at least. That's the 9 pin that might have completed the central coup, but okay, 1 so left in the wall.
Ooh, the 7-so's coming out makes the 8 look better.
Ooh. Now what to do? That 8 so is probably not safe.
It's probably the safest tile in the hand. Yeah, it just comes
Ooh,
out.
and it does come out.
So Claire enacts a little bit of revenge here, 2600 with the Ricci Uda, and then all the Homba as well.
Yeah, I mean, if he has perfect vision, then he might be able to wait for the 9 pin, but you just take those. Speaking of taking, Joe has a really decent hand. Hong Lotto possibility and the Hong E2 as well.
And just Kokshi too.
Hokushu with this.
It's 10 unique tiles and a pair. So two.
I mean, 3 pairs. 3 pairs.
Yeah, 3 pairs, 3 pairs, but like 2 away? 2 away from Tempai?
リーチ
Oh wow,
It is.
that's also
Wow,
a fast
that was
Ricci.
quick. That was quick. 2 5-man for $1. Oh, that's 6-pin jam. Joe doesn't care. Joe doesn't give a quack.
This is very promising. There's already been 1 Yakumo in the game. How about 2?
Wait, you're serious?
Sure, why
It
not?
can't be.
It's already happened
Oh,
once
that
this
5-man's
season.
coming out though. So 5-man's coming out though.
Yeah. Oh, the Uda 2.
Uda
That's gonna be
2.
painful. Not as painful as it can be when you're over 100,000 points.
I mean, it could have been more, right? It could have been more, but like
Excuse me,
you
Joe?
did.
Ishanten for Honitsu.
And Dora one.
Yakuhai Dora.
Like a Dama would be. Like a Dama
He
would be
doesn't
Yakuma
call
already.
it. He doesn't call for the Senpai.
He believes. He believes. He knows he's gonna get there eventually with his draw. He has a really good shape as well. So
He's going for it all. This is Hanuman Baimon even.
yeah, there is a chance of a buyman. Okay,
Oh.
now cost.
I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna pass the tune, you can also pass the 1 mon personally, but
I mean, he probably wouldn't wait that long. Ooh. Now would you agree for the Toy Toy? Not. That West Wind's
Don't.
coming out and there's a Honsu draw one no swing.
yeah, that's just an absolutely disgusting win. There's how are you supposed to expect this?
No, you're not. And Clear is now deep in the rabbit hole.
Yeah, without a
This is
dealership
not-
left.
Yeah, this is like his only chance is to direct hit to Yakuman. Something like that along the lines. Even some is not enough.
Yeah, definitely not much for Claire to have done this game. There are some just insanely ridiculous hands. And wow,
Yeah.
Will is already Ishantan as the dealer. This could be a chance to get over 30k. And
Yeet.
Tempai with the Takame 9-so draw for Ipeko Pifu.
Yep, and the Sumo Ura one will be 40k all.
Naripatsu. But
Oh, nah. We've seen enough dealer madness today.
still 4 tiles left in the wall. Also, Claire with Dora 2 might just fight because there's little else to do.
I mean, Clear. I don't know. He might be jamming for Suanko, but like maybe he's just reducing the damage. Like if he does want to get third place, then he might be fishing for Suanko. But now what to do? Now
Gee.
Fireman's safe. Cheat by Tucker.
Yeah, Claire's got some options. She can slam.
Gee.
Yeah, very, very wide Ishanten here. And Tucker says, you know what, I could just play for my own hand too.
リーチ
Joe gets there.
Yeah.
He slams.
No chase.
And
Ooh,
he'll
that 8-man
Don't.
goes into the E-Part 2, and Tucker loses 5 points as well because that puts Joe over 30k. That is absolute cinema.
You're right. It's only plus 84.4 for Tucker.
Who have been plus 100.
What a fantastic game that was. I'm glad we continued broadcasting. We took a 10-minute break, 15-minute break, and we got to see dealer Dai Sangen.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
I thought it was such a likely chance that it was going to be a dealer Baimon. And then the last tune popped up in the wall out of nowhere. I wonder if they're going to need a break after that game, or if they just hopped straight into the last one.
Wait, there's one more?
I think they've got one more.
Like, if I were one of them, I would definitely need a break. It's just a lot of twists and shocks, especially in the Southwind rounds. I mean, let's say it's just like in the Eastwind, right? It's pretty calm, right? It's like that, the tide going back before tsunami hits. That's the Eastwind there, and the Southwind just boom.
Yeah, Southern hits, all of a sudden Tucker's at 100k. And those games are always interesting when you are. Oh, Korak just. Oh, hey everybody. I open up the stream chat and look at this. All my favorite people are in the chat. Yeah, dealer Daisanga and Tucker kind of went crazy. And not only that, also when a dealer Hanemon gave up what could have been a dealer Mongon at least, just Dama the Pinfu, and then kept it up. Well, they did start their next game. It is a little bit delayed, so we still have a minute or so before we can hop in there. Let me go over to this screen and show the standings. We can see Tucker's very good, awesome, incredible day. Started with a first place, took a third, and then another monster first place, already almost double the points of the next player in the A2 division. And we'll have one more game for them. And for commentary in this final game, we're joined by another.
Bye.
Laura, welcome.
Hello.
Awesome to have you here. We've chatted a lot about a lot of things, including Salma and Mahjong in the US, and now we get to talk about Armel games.
Yes.
Did you?
I'm excited.
Did you get to see any of that last game?
I did not.
I recommend checking the VOD for that later. At least South 1. Check out South 1. It was crazy. Tucker got dealer Daisangan.
Oh dear.
And just
That was half of the round, like half of the game pretty much. Everything else went quick as a flash, but the South one was pretty long. Like, and I imagine enjoying for the other players.
So that's going to put Tucker in first place in A2 for right now.
Obviously.
Yeah, I think so. And you know what? In general, historically speaking, in A2, you need to be about 150 nowadays to get a promotion. And Tucker's right there, 2 sessions in. So we'll see if they can hold out for one more game, at least to end session 2, and how things will go the rest of the season for them.
Of course, we know that a season is a long time and a lot of things can change.
That is so true. Okay, I've popped the game up. Looks like he'll be starting very soon. Will be our first dealer. Joe to the right. Tucker, Ennui across the table. And Claire on the left.
And of course, we know I'm rooting for my girlfriend.
Who is that? Sorry.
Thursday. Claire is Thursday on the left.
Oh, that's the Go player?
Yes.
Yes.
She is
Oh, yeah.
actually runs a huge mahjong club, Ricci Club in New York.
Oh. But unfortunately, she didn't do that well in the last game, so hopefully she can get her revenge.
Will, as our first dealer, has a door shape and not much else. I don't know. Laura, when you look at this high pie, are you feeling optimistic or are you as pessimistic as I am?
I'm just as pessimistic as you are.
It's tough to complete these shapes, especially when you see somebody opening up like this.
When you look right across the table at a really decent hand that they can make move really fast.
I wonder how
Absolutely.
greatly. Oh, Jackie, if you have Tucker's hand, are you playing... Oh, no, just pulling. I guess Toy Toy?
I don't know. It really depends on, let's say, I think if you're in Tucker's position, you just make sure you get another first. You don't care about how big the hand is. Just cuck others wherever you can. Secure that first place.
I will
Take it home.
say that personally, when I get a big hand or even a big game, I always feel like less inclined to fight super hard in the next one.
Oh. Three-way tempai here. And the Takame 1-man will be a Toy. Whereas Joe is also aiming for his Manzu Hoinsu as well.
I don't know if Joe's gonna get there. That's a lot of Montiles in Tucker's hand.
Yeah. It feels like Monzo are really eaten up right now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the 1-man. Oh.
Can't use it.
Also doesn't...
If it doesn't, no, it's not coming out yet. Not yet.
Playing smart.
Tucker's like, this isn't a symbol. This isn't one of my many winning tiles.
Yeah. Ooh, that 6-pin. That is Red Ipatsu from Joe there.
This is a wide weight 369.
I like this for Claire. I like this.
It's a 5 as well. It's a 5 as well.
I think that's Tucker's switch.
Oh, yeah. That was a sumo.
There we go.
Really, really nice. And 2 Uras. We love Uradoras, don't we?
You were right, Laura. We like this for Claire.
We like this a lot for Claire. That was a very easy one for her.
I wouldn't say easy, but rather let's say she played that well. She gets what the table has given her. She just takes those chances.
You can't fight sumo, right?
No, you can't. But the thing is that some players in other tables might not be able to, let's say, adjust their hands as well to be able to, let's say, accept those ways that end up in a sumo. They might be juggling for a little bit more turns, and maybe end up with real cuckoo, something like that. I don't know. But fair play to Claire, she did well.
Claire might have a bit of an advantage in this round, just looking around the table. Actually, a lot of decent hands here.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of very usable shapes around the table.
Probably the one struggling the most might be Tucker on the right with this 1-2 mon, 1-2 pin.
Yeah. And now, speaking of good shapes, Will has already got an Ishanto with a really extremely well shaped. Can't change to tempo, choosing not to.
After seeing a Hanemon Sumo, I can't blame him. Probably wants to do more than 2,000 points. That's always an interesting question about playstyle and what you're content with aiming for. I think most players this early on will greed for the Ricci with these good shapes.
Absolutely. And that's how the game is ought to be played in some regard. Is short term now for Claire.
7
Tucker opens up. This is a Chunta, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely Chanta. I don't know that I would have opened up for it though.
Mm,
It's a similar question, right? What you're willing to go for. How greedy
Yeah.
you want to be. Oh, hello.
Okay.
I guess that's an upgrade. Kind of deciding between... Oh.
ooh.
Ooh, that's not what I would have done. I definitely would have switched to Juncheon.
Yeah, I feel like what Tucker is saying by this cut is that I don't actually care about the value of this hand. I just want to get out of this hand with a win.
Yeah.
Thanks. But the pay is actually cut twice. I didn't even notice that. Worth not callable. I wonder if Tucker noticed that and just said, I like the 9-pin better anyway. Oh, the 9-pin's one's cut too.
Empire for
Mm-hmm.
Joe.
1
And he's gonna take
Hold
it.
it. Yeah. You take it as a dealer. 2 left in the wall. I mean, the fact is that no one wants let's say either 4 or 7 souls, so it's a pretty good chance that they are in the wall, despite you can see 4 of them out already.
ポン
That was a point to Tenpai, which was sleeping for
1
Tanomi.
Ooh.
And the clear chase is going for 1 4-man. 1-man not in the wall, and 4-man is right in the
Each.
wall. So not a big chance.
Don't.
But that
Oh,
Queen
dear.
Two is
Oh,
gonna
there we
go
go.
into Joe.
Wait, how did Tucker win this? Out of all the players, I thought definitely one of the Ricci's had the advantage, but
But no.
Yeah, definitely. But sometimes you chase and you just still in. You're just not there fast enough.
Tucker was right. The 9-pin was good. All right, East 3. Will we see a repeat of Madness on Tucker's dealership?
If you're clear, you probably hope not.
Right.
I don't know. I think Claire is pretty optimistic about the way her hand looks right now.
And she has reason to be.
Ooh. Do you ever cut West-West or like 9-mon, 9-mon before the 7-mon? You know how my brain works. If there is a Sanchoku anywhere, I'm always thinking about how to get it.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
there is potential, but like, you probably just want to preserve as much acceptance as you can. You have 4-man already, so you can still accept 6-man, albeit you don't get the Senshoku with
Yeah.
keeping the 7-man.
I was just thinking we're already cutting the West-West probably anyway, so we don't sacrifice that much. But maybe if the goal is to end Tucker's dealership as soon as possible, then you want to maximize your pair acceptance too. Your triple acceptance, that is.
And she does just keep holding on to and picking up more quite easily, Sozu. So it feels like the tiles are telling her what to do.
Yeah, and I really like this 5-so keep, in particular because if she draws 2-so, 5-so, or 8-so, she can cut the 9-mon pair and get Tanyao as well. So I love
1
extra value here.
Think of extra value, Joe goes for the DC for 7-man
1
and instantly chased by Claire. Gets the 8-pin.
And holding on to that 5 earlier worked out well as it was safe.
Yeah, rare that central tile is your safe entry, but there you go.
But there you go.
If she had held the 7-mon, it wouldn't have been safe. She would have dealt in. Tucker now a challenging task of defending against 2 Ricci's as the dealer.
Oh,
4
that 6-man goes into
There we go.
Claire. And the Ura does him some favors as well. You take those. I mean, to E4.
Claire is getting all the Ura love today.
Yeah, at least in this game. Dealer now. We'll see if she can also do the same when she
I mean,
gets the
it's just
bonus.
a hand now. Like, there's a clear path towards the tile pinfu.
Boom.
Wow, that's a fast call.
But you think you're in that headspace of let's just shut her down as dealer as fast as we can and move on.
Yeah, I think that's what you have. You don't have anything outside the ball, and you don't have door acceptance, so it's not as beneficial. Speaking of, but he chooses not to get the tenpai. Like, say, just squeeze for maybe one more turn or something. Just keep the acceptance as big as wide as you can. I don't need a tenpai now. Just wait.
We've seen this a couple times from Tucker when they get the early tempai, not accepting it and going for a wider shape.
Each.
Definitely. But Will strikes first with the lychee.
Not much safety here, just jams the 9.
Now that's the tenpai. Tucker.
Don't.
Oh, that's 2 man.
Stolen
Tucker
away.
doing Tucker. Wait, Tucker? What the hell?
Hello.
Quickly moving into South 1. This game is moving nice and fast, the way we love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're clear and you have that big of an advantage, you definitely want this to end. You probably want it to end right now. Take the point.
I don't know. Claire could never have enough points.
Fair enough.
But this hand, my eyes are definitely firmly fixed upon the red dragon pair in Tucker's hand. Will they be able to complete it?
It may well be. Nobody else has it.
Tucker has shown an affinity for drawing dragons. Will also doing okay as the dealer here.
Mm-hmm.
Technically one away from Tempai, but shapes are kind of weak. Tucker also went away now.
As well for Tucker.
If you're Claire, do you play for pairs?
It feels like that's where the tiles are saying to go.
I guess you can also dream of Yakuman.
Well, it's good to have goals. And you know all about dreaming of Yakuman.
We want dreaming.
He gets the reality.
Yeah, this was the first non A1 Yakuman this season.
I mean, this dealer hand has really shaped up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Interesting tank here. Maybe likes the idea of West Tonki.
Boom.
They're going to go for Toy Toy now?
Yeah, she decides it's too slow otherwise.
Tenpai for the dealer.
Boom.
Will chooses Sudama.
There she goes.
And now there's
Probably thinking of improvements.
I think more than improvements, Will is concerned that either Claire or Tucker has the Dora.
Definitely. But there is a cycle improvement there.
You're right.
Oh, that 8. 8, so it's not doing it because Tucker needs the Yaku. Gets it?
Yeah, this is exactly why Will did not reach E.
I agree. Keep it for now. Juggles it around.
Oh, it gets Tempai. Now you slam.
Dear.
Slam.
No fear of dealing it on the door anymore. And the Forso just came out. there's the
Long
last
fold,
one.
and yeah, that's the last one. Yeah.
And the Chuso looks kind of safe from Joe's perspective, although they're all missing from the board, so that might raise some concern.
Mm-hmm.
地
He'll
Into
use it.
senpai.
Okay.
相撲
Okay, sumo for clear.
There you go.
It's not stopping Claire. The two players, Mochi Mochi on the Red Dragon. Claire almost up to 50k now. We go to Joe in the south too.
Yeah, now the task for clear is to get Taka below 30k while maintaining her advantage. But you do want, like, if you're clear, you want Taka below 30k.
You know, Claire is holding down this Hanshan and also just pulling into some great hands. They're very easily played hands. We look at this hand right now, she's already looking really good.
So
Yeah.
now, speaking of good hands, as I have something that Nathaniel might be interested in, is the dealer, a Sanshoku and the Chanta chance.
I love me a good Sanjoku. I wonder if you open up here for Joe. I mean, it's your dealership, so you are pretty incentivized to call to play for speed. But Joe also one of those players that really likes building big hands.
Yeah, Chanta Sanshoku is pretty big.
If you can get it closed, it's +2 hun for both, +1 hun for each, so a total of 2 extra.
It's a manga already, right? Sanshoku's 2, Chanta's 2, and you lead to Sumo, that's like 6k all.
I personally open up in this spot, but I don't know what you guys think.
I see both sides. I see the idea of, well, I want to at least get to repeat, but there's so much value in keeping it closed.
I think a big part of it for me is my internal sense of how likely it is that I draw the tiles I need myself, and that really varies from player to player. I think that sort of optimism about being able to draw
Yeah,
useful tiles.
That's his tile improvement.
I think if I drew into a 9 mon here and could toss that 6, I would then be willing to open up.
Speaking of 7, 8, 9 Sanshoku, Will also has a chance of getting it.
Can we actually have 2 7, 8, 9 Sanchokus in the same hand? It is possible. It is mathematically possible, but it's pretty rare that it actually happens.
Well. Ooh.
Slightly wider each on them.
Yeah.
That means Will can draw 5 so
Country
and
to
6
temperature
so, 8 so, 9 so. 7 8 pin.
Oh, country into 10 pipe for Thursday. Will he take it? Choose not to. I mean, it's that late in the game. Now it's 10 pipe.
Okay.
Once that Sanshoku so chooses to Dama.
Holding out. What about the West weight?
リーチ
Oh.
Oh,
Now,
Interesting.
oh.
Ipatsu.
Red
Oh,
Ifatsu.
it's
5 so. 9 mon. Okay.
oh.
Okay. Okay. We keep those.
Both players stopped for at least 3 seconds to count how many Wests were discarded. It's like, nope, I can't see any. Let me just double check. Nope, there really are no
Yeet.
Wests out there.
Okay, now Will goes for the Lishi Takame Sanshoku, and
ドン
although he didn't get the Takame, it's still an Ipatsu. You take those. And
And
Ura one as well.
the Uda.
Mm.
Who have been a Sanshoku on 789, but you take those. You take it when it comes.
Yeah, that puts Will pretty close to getting back over 30k. We'll see. Tucker now in the dealer seat.
Yeah, speaking of 30k, we have Tucker with another Dora pair in his starting hand. And can easily transition to Tanyo as well.
I don't know about you, but whenever I start with door pair, I immediately look for the fastest calling route.
Absolutely.
Speaking of
Speaking of Colin, Joe is probably going for Kokushi, so Tucker can get all the tiles in the world in terms of the middle tiles that he needs.
Yeah, did not call the
Did
tree,
not-
but draws it himself. Well, change of
Ooh.
plans. Honroto?
Sandoko?
Sanshokudoko Honroto Yakuhai? Or is it actually Kokushi?
I don't think it's gonna be Kokushi.
Yeah, Kokushi's
Oh, Kokushi is
Oh.
this? Oh, wait.
9 and a couple pairs. Feels a little far away.
It is.
It looks a lot closer than it is.
Yeah, I prefer the Sandoko route. Like, if you get it, it's rarer than Kokushi, so.
Okay, we're shifting again.
Yeah. Only two.
The shift.
Tomato. Pretty based. But 9 months all out and 1 month in Clear's hand.
Hmm.
These are not coming out.
Maybe Chitoy.
It looks like it. Despite all this, Joe still doesn't draw enough middle tiles for Tucker to tree into. Alright. Ooh.
White Dragon twice cut. Kind of amazed that no one else has gotten Tempai yet. Usually when one player is going for a like completely terminal and honor based hand, other players have lots of good central tiles.
Oh, now the Chitui Honitsu is alive.
Yeah, South also twice cut, so it has to be Chitoy. In fact, maybe you just cut the red dragon.
Not yet. I mean, 9 pins all cut, so you see 9 pins 3 cut, so it doesn't make a difference.
Oh, that's
You're
a
not
good
gonna
point.
draw that first 9 pin.
Are there any of these green dragons left? I see one discarded.
Oh, Lichi for Tucker?
リーチ
Sure. It's still outside, you go for it. Sets up a Suji trap, 3 left in the wall for 7 man. Like, especially when you see 6 months from Joe's discard, and you have another 6 man. You know that 7 man's probably gonna be readily available in the wall.
Oh, do you show
Khan.
all your door to
Khan.
everyone? Yes.
Yes, they do.
Hey,
You feel like
everybody!
you care.
Just in case you weren't worried about Dealer Ricci before, I've got all the
Oh,
door.
Wait, now the
dear.
user pie. Process to fall, nice choice.
Will doesn't want to touch
That's
this
good.
hand.
Ooh.
スモ
Oh, Shimo! That's another 6k or at least.
Only one
At
Uda.
Only one?
So, okay, hear me out.
I was hoping expected to.
If Tucker had somehow known about what was coming up in the wall and didn't Ricci, would have drawn the 8-mon, Ricci'd on the Shabo weight, Ipatsumo'd the 8-mon, or rather Cons, so not Ipatsu, but Cons, and then Sumo's the 8-mon, and has Uda 3 instead of Uda 1.
If he knows that well of what's going on, he would have literally the hand in the last game.
That's true.
If he
That's-
knows that well, but he knows he's gonna win. But
That's
like,
how you know Tucker's doing
the
this
extent
legit.
of his winning but the extent of his winning is another matter.
So that puts Claire into second now. First threatened.
Was. And she was playing very defensively that last hand. She just wanted to stay out of it. Now she's going to have to fight a little bit to take first back.
She does have a pretty
Yeah,
strong
but
hand to do so.
Definitely. But the problem is that if has she been fighting back and actually dealt into that monster, then it's no way back. At least she has a
Home.
way back for now, given that the dealer was actually sumo her hand. But if he deals in that 1800 hand, there's no way back.
Tosuke call for Will. Looking for the West. He needs the West to be his.
Yeah, the West gonna
Yep.
come out. It might come out from Joe but Joe is going for the Hongitsu route, so he's gonna keep it a bit longer.
Ooh.
I had a weird feeling that Joe's jumping for the Hongitsu
Chi.
Itsu there.
You're probably right. We'll
Now the
see.
West. Oh,
It looks like you're
I told
spot
ya.
on. Interesting choice for Claire here. We'll cut the 6-pin. Just play the wide
I
shapes.
quite like that.
If she's super greedy, she could have gone 2-mon, 3-mon. I'm sure she was looking at that.
Maybe not.
Does feel like a bit much.
I mean,
Long.
oh, that shot's coming out.
Yeah, there's just no home for it in that hand, so it will send us into all last. One more chance for players to catch up to where Tucker sits atop this table.
Yeah, Tucker has the Chum pair, so can easily end this game quickly, considering that Claire's gonna discard it. But Claire himself has the Yaku pair as well, which Tucker's gonna discard. So
Home.
yeah, Tucker strikes first,
Home.
and the quick exchange.
Exchange of Yakuhai.
And they're going to fight it out really quick and fast here. Each of them trying to end things. Claire
Yeah,
trying
but
to get that repeat, and he's trying to just say, "Hey, this is mine."
yeah, I mean, Tucker has the better chance because he's E-Shanten with the pair, whereas for Claire it's 2 Shanten, I believe.
But she has to
three.
go. She has to do it.
There's really nothing to lose here.
Oh, wait, Kong,
No.
Kong.
I don't think so.
Okay, now 2 Shanten.
Tucker might get stuck on this 8-pin, though.
Ooh, I really want to see that Kong from Tucker, like just to spice it up for the audience, you know, like a victory ritual. Like I'm winning this, no one's gonna stop me. Just like how I won for plus 84 in the last game. Like even if I make some decisions that are dubious, I'm
Chi.
still winning.
Claire's going to grab that, and now
Should
we're stuck
I
on
do
this
that?
5-7-9 shape.
Oh, now 10 pie for Claire.
Oh, the 8-pin!
Oh no!
The last
that was a
8-pin.
trick
All the
draw.
other
Oh,
ones.
we hate to see it.
They were locked in hand.
That's a trick draw.
In the end, it will be Tucker coming out on top once again. Has been dominant this series. 3 first places and a third, amassing. How many points has it been? 40 something, 36. It's like 80, 160, and then minus 20 or so.
This will definitely take him over that 150 threshold you were talking about earlier, and we see him now
Yeah,
at
it does. We
185.
have the marks updated. Tucker now at 185.3.
Incredible stuff. And Claire, a very respectable second.
Very respectable. Really looked like it was going to be Claire's game the whole time, and Tucker just brought it back at the end.
Yeah, the 6K all sumo was disgusting in a sense.
You go to the standings, see it in larger print. Tucker at the top. And Brian got off to a very good start this season. Plus 75. Will be interesting. He hasn't played any of his games yet in the second session. Same for
40%
Kayla.
win rate. 40% win rate for Brian.
Yeah, not only that,
That's wild.
7.7% deal-in rate.
Ooh.
But you notice
And the
Claire,
dealing
she
right
had
was
a
well.
little bit of a rough start to start this season, but she's going to be happy to have at least picked up these 12 points in this game.
Yeah, and nothing to worry about just yet in terms of the arrows, the downward facing arrows. It's just session 2.
Yeah.
And at
This
the
is very early.
exactly, and at the end of the session, as the other players will have filled out their games, things will become a little bit more clear. So a lot more to yet to be played for in this division.
Really.
All right. Well, I think that's the final game of the evening. And so that will be the final game for us. Thanks everybody for hopping in for the commentary, Jackie and Laura.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
And for all of the viewers, thanks for tuning in. We had excitement today. If you missed it, you'll want to go back to the third game of this series, South 1, and just check out everything that happens around that territory. The VOD will be up shortly. If you'd like to see our previous broadcasts, check out our YouTube channel at American Ricci on YouTube, at American Ricci on our socials as well to check out all the fancy hands. We're going to see that fancy hand get posted online soon. And of course, AmericanRicci.org is the place to go for all your registration needs. If you want to check out all the standings in each of the divisions, or see who's playing in each division, or sign up for the summer session, which is going to be going live in a couple of months, visit AmericanRicci.org for that. Thanks again to Korak and to both Laura and Jackie for hopping on the commentary. We'll see you on our next broadcast, which should be next Wednesday, for our regularly scheduled Marble action. Catch you all in the next one. Have a good night.
Good night.